third down, and they were all 5 for 15, 75 yards, and just can't happen. And we've got to really emphasize it. We've got good coaches. They'll help with that, and we've got to get it fixed because it's going to come back and bite us if we don't.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
She ran a little snafu last year with Kirby Smart and Dan Mullen, not directly at each other, but they were asked questions about recruiting. One guy answered it one way, one guy answered it another. Dan Mullen was like, we can talk recruiting in the offseason. And then Kirby Smart said something to the extent of, and I'm paraphrasing, you're always recruiting. If you have the best recruits, you win football games. My job's easier. Well, Sam Pittman's doing his best to recruit and make his job easier, and we're starting to see it. Man, he got some guys out of the portal. Drew Sanders might be the best portal pickup of anyone in the Southeastern Conference. I'm not just talking about for Arkansas, but the entire league. And he didn't miss on anyone. You think about all the guys that he brought over, really outside of Cade Fortin, who's a backup quarterback. All these guys are playing. Some of these guys are starting. And so he and his staff did a great job on that. He was talking about, hey, being in the top 10, we're using that for recruiting. He even talked about, hey, we used what Bobby Petrino and company did a decade or so ago in recruiting. So he's using every way imaginable to recruit guys to campus to make your football team better. And that's where we'll get going here on a Toyota Tuesday.
I thought the most interesting thing out of that nugget was the reference, and of course it's timely because you are playing Missouri State and Bobby Petrino this week to make sure you work that in the conversation. I don't think that's been said before by this current coaching staff, but obviously the nature of this week, that would be the time to make the comment. The interesting thing is, I mean, that's the last kind of great short period of Razorback football in 2010 and 2011, but what it does do is give some recent reference to, it can be done. You went toe-to-toe with Bama and LSU at that time. You didn't get over, past those guys, but you got to a Sugar Bowl. You got to what would now be considered a New Year's Day Six Bowl. Here's what this program is capable of with the right collection of players, and I believe Sam's got a better top-to-bottom coaching staff than what Bobby put together. Bobby had a bunch of guys that were his guys and would do things his way, but that was a very short list of guys he could, at that time, bring along that would work under those circumstances, as you might say. So I think from top to bottom, when you look at what Sam's got going on, he's probably got a deeper, better staff. But Bobby may be, in fact, I think a lot of people, if they were honest about it, would say it's probably the best offensive mind going to be on the field Saturday night will be on the visiting sideline. And that's no slight to Kendall Briles, but that's probably the reality of it.
When you compare staffs, Tommy, I don't even think it's close. I think it's 9 days from what Arkansas had back in the day to what they have now. And you look at how you described it, he was almost impossible to work for. That's why he had to hire a lot of family members because no one wanted to work for him. And the same can't be said about Sam Pittman. It seems like, you go out and get Barry Odom, who's regarded as one of the better defensive minds in the SEC, Kendall Briles, who's regarded as one of the best up-and-coming offensive minds in the SEC. That was relatively quickly, and you've not only been able to hire them, you've been able to retain them. So, and listen, I love Garrick McGee. I love some of the other guys on that staff back in the day, but if you ask college football minds much smarter than Tommy and myself, the staff comparison, I don't think it's close, to be honest.
I think his brother was the only family member technically on staff back then, but he's since then, had I think a son that's coaching for him now, and some
son-in-law. There's a lot of connections.
There's been some other since then, but while he was here, I think Paul was really the only true family member that was on staff. But he had a kind of a merry band of coaches, if you will, that just kind of went with him, and that's where they went. But listen, Arkansas should win the game Saturday night because they have the better players and the rosters. The X's versus the O's shouldn't be close. But it won't be because Bobby Petrino can't come up with a great game plan. It won't be because he can't attack, and he will expose some weaknesses. Guy is sharp. He is smart on being able to, as we saw at Arkansas, not just offensively put something together, but how many times did halftime adjustments come on the defensive side of the ball because he made the adjustments and they worked. I've been in rooms with some high school coaches and things that that some of the ones everyone listening would consider the best to ever do it in this state. And these were offensive-minded guys, but they would go sit in the defensive room with those staffs, and it was amazing the input you'd hear them give because they the guy on the other side of the ball can reverse engineer it a lot of ways and help identify those weaknesses. He's one of those guys that he could probably be just as effective a defensive coordinator as he is an offensive guy.
Just because he understands the game so well. That's why certain guys, for example, Travis Kelce is the name that I think of. Travis Kelce, while it's not flipping offense to defense, he understands kind of where defense is at. Travis played quarterback throughout a lot of his middle school and high school, and so now he's had a great amount of success at the tight end position because he consistently knows the quarterback's vantage point and where he's supposed to be, and he also can kind of read the defense if you want to make that comparison. Here's a good text from Hog Dog this morning. You're welcome to text in. Our text line is back up this morning, 877-377-6963, asking about getting the chance to see Isaiah Sategna. Not just Isaiah Sategna, but this could be the first week, Tommy. You've had two relatively close games through 2 weeks of football. This could be the first week that you get to see some younger players if they are able to stretch a league. Now, I don't know how this game is going to play out. I would expect Arkansas to kind of be within that betting line that we discussed before the show, which is like a 4-touchdown range. This could be the week, and one of the few weeks, to be quite honest, that you actually see some young guys that get some playing time.
What is it? It's 4 games, right? I want to make sure I get this right because I kind of lost track through COVID, but I think it's 4 games a freshman can play in without losing the red shirt. So this is hopefully an opportunity if the game goes the way it should. But, hey, ask A&M, ask Notre Dame. It doesn't take long to look through some recent games where it was too close for comfort. Even Georgia's game with Samford at 30-0 was probably too close for comfort to play some guys maybe you wanted to play in that game. So, it's on the frontline guys to maybe open up some opportunities for young players to earn a little more trust to be in there. I would expect to see some of these guys because I think you're right. You look down the schedule. I don't think BYU as a non-conference game is going to be a place you can play, play backup guys and guys that hadn't got a chance. That's going to be a top 15 matchup if everything holds true. Right now they're 12-10 in the polls. Liberty, I don't know. We're too far away from that to know what that game would be, but that would be the next maybe opportunity for some guys to play if you take injury out of the equation. So I hope we see Sategna. I always like these looks at the future because that's what it is you're kind of looking, late in these games a lot of times what the next wave of Razorbacks are going to look like. So I do hope we get to see Sategna.
I hope we get to see not just him, but a couple other players. And I mentioned the transfers, how instrumental they've been to start the season for Arkansas football. As Tommy just said, you kind of want to see what is the future of this program moving forward.
Nico Davier is another one I want to see, the defensive lineman that played last year at Maumelle. Chambly, and we probably don't focus enough on offensive linemen, but hey, this is a team that needs some depth, and getting to see him play some more. Hey, he's going to be a guy I don't think redshirts this year because there's bound to be an issue on that offensive line, and some of these younger guys are going to play there. So I'm looking forward to maybe seeing the opportunity for those guys to play. Hey, off and running on a Tuesday here, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, a lifetime warranty. Hey, I love what they got going on at Wheels because when you walk in the door, they got a cold drink waiting on you. They got some arcade games to entertain the kids, or us kids at heart that while we do the shopping. They got a great service department, collision center if you need that, paint and body work, all of it. And again, a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
All right, when we come back, Paul Feinbaum was at the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday. Had some things to say about Sam Pittman, your head football coach. We'll let you know about him next.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Kick off football season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code PLAY to get in on the action. You can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code PLAY. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-877-70-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of it.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
The broadcast with Chuck and Quinn on hitthatline.com or your ESPN Arkansas radio station.
Paul Feinbaum at the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday had a lot to say, including about Sam Pittman. Now, he was initially very, very skeptical of Arkansas going in this direction, but he has since recanted his initial thoughts, and we'll tell you about that coming up in just a sec.
Hey, one of the places we love to go during football season, particularly if we're, a road game or we're staying at home or we're going to the game like this Saturday, is Arts. You need some help with your tailgate food? I'd call Wade and his crew today. They're open Tuesday through Saturday. 452-2550 is their number. Get you a pan of baby back ribs, that tender brisket, that great pulled pork. The wonderful thing about their pulled pork is you can get a lot of it, feed a lot of crowd for less money. Their house-made sausages and hot links are great. So those make a great deal at any tailgate. So maybe you don't have time or you're not going to be able to fire up the grill or take the smoker to the game, all of that. Hey, let Arts take care of everything you need for your tailgate or even your home gate if you're not going to the game. 452-2550. That's who we always call when we need great barbecue to take to the game. That's Arts Barbecue on Rogers Avenue, 452-2550.
And once I saw his picture, I who in the world, how did they hire this guy? And then the next day we had him on our show, as you saw, and I kept thinking, what does he remind me of? And I thought he's the kind of guy that you would see if you were in Stuttgart, Arkansas, at a feed store. He'd be behind the counter. And I have never been more impressed with a coach.
Is that a good thought process initially? For those, think about the outside perspective. Some of you were very familiar with Sam Pittman because you knew who he was as your offensive line coach. Some of you probably didn't remember, which is okay. I'm not going to slight you for that he was on staff at Arkansas during Brett Bielema's tenure. But it got destroyed nationally when Hunter Yurchek made that hire initially.
I think most people here remembered he was the offensive line coach, and anyone that watched or pays attention to the conference as a whole knew who Sam Pittman was. So, Paul Feinbaum knew exactly who Sam Pittman was because he'd been coaching in this league as an assistant since 2012. But, let's not act like we weren't skeptical. Let's not act like we were, this is the greatest hire ever. Here we are 3 years later, and it's worked out. Let's not act like Sam Pittman was the first choice. Let's not revise history because we'd all been a little bit jaded. There's probably a better word after what we'd come through with the end of Bielema, and Bielema just never could break over. So that was a failure, and then a total disaster. Complete. Jack Crow-esque disaster with Chad Morris. So we were all a little bit apprehensive about anybody, but we were hearing names like Leach and Kiffin, and you end up with Sam Pittman, or Barry Lunny. It was almost like it was a coin toss between the two. So let's not like everybody knew this was going to work because we didn't. And, you see now why it's worked because of Sam's personality, because of his ability to hire staff, because of his personality, loyalty, all these personal traits and characters. But I'm not going to hammer or get too much on anyone that was skeptical about this hire because there was plenty of reason when he was brought in December of 19, ahead of the 2020 season. There was plenty of skepticism to go around that time, and it was merited.
And to that point, I'll give credit to the Arkansas fans that believe this was a good hire because I just initially asked the question, what makes this a good hire? And people took that as, well, I think this is a terrible hire. I didn't say that. I just asked that question initially when Sam Pittman got hired. And I will say there were a bunch of Arkansas fans, not just his former players, that came to his defense immediately. And you've probably taken some pride in bashing Paul, bashing Stuart Mandel, head of athletic, bashing some other college football media members who thought this was a disaster of a hire because they saw Mike Leach, they saw Lane Kiffin being hired at the same time in the same division, and they said, oh, the names, that's a much better hire. But fit is a thing. Cultural fit is a thing, and there's no doubt. Not to say Lane Kiffin doesn't fit Ole Miss, because I think he does, and not to say that Mike Leach doesn't fit Mississippi State because they're weird over there in Starkville. I think he does there. But Sam Pittman is a good fit for Arkansas, and we've seen that to this point. So I think a lot of Arkansas fans, you love to show people up when they bash or they tell you you're wrong or they tell you can't win this or they tell you, oh, you're little old Arkansas. So that's what's made this even more fun is when you see Sam listed as the worst Power 5 coach by someone's opinion in college football. And now you find yourself in the top 10 for the second consecutive year. You just like to go around with your chest posted out, and deservedly so, because your team used to suck. It's nice to be able to come back out of the depths where you were and actually do something in the realm of college football in the toughest conference and the toughest schedule in all the land.
And I know, in hindsight, it's great. Hey, he was ranked the worst head coach. Well, how do you rank him much ahead of near the bottom when you're talking about someone that's never been a coordinator and it's a lifetime assistant unless you got some inside info and some inside clues? I don't know how you don't rank him somewhere near the bottom initially. He's obviously proven much better than that. Why is he a good fit? You said he's a good fit. Why in your opinion, is Sam a good fit for Arkansas?
I think he has that blue-collar approach that every Arkansan, whether you're white-collar or blue-collar, identifies themselves as. This is a blue-collar state. This is a state that cares deeply about the Razorbacks. Sam Pittman cares deeply about this program, even though he didn't go to school here. He grew up as a fan 90 miles in Grove, Oklahoma, away from campus. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can point to.
Let's talk about football, though. Football reason, Arkansas got really soft on the offensive line. I mean, the perfect person to reestablish toughness and physicality and what Arkansas football has to be about to be good was a guy that knows offensive line better than anyone in the country. That's why this has worked out. I mean, we just saw the evidence on Saturday when that offensive line in any run play just mashed South Carolina. I mean, blew them off the line of scrimmage 2-3 yards. Go back and just watch the run plays in that game. That's why Sam Pittman is the perfect fit at the perfect time for Arkansas. Chad Morris had taken line play back 10 years by trying to slim the guys down. I get the idea of making them faster in a passing offense, but they were soft up front. The return to the mentality of tough and physical, that's, to me, why Sam's a great fit. And we saw the evidence Saturday and just the way they beat the brakes off of South Carolina at the line of scrimmage.
Broke their will. Text in from JT in Hot Springs saying, and he's honest, I was skeptical about hiring Sam Pittman. I'm glad he's proven everyone wrong. Yeah, Sam Pittman has proved a lot of people wrong, and hopefully he'll continue to do so with this football team this year. You got a lot of games left that you can prove people wrong. Everyone keeps talking about how difficult the schedule is. Arkansas is not going to hit double-digit wins because of the schedule, blah, 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 blah. This football team right now is the biggest opponent to Alabama in the SEC West. It's not A&M, it's Arkansas.
Hey, if you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you don't know who to call to get them installed or who to build them, these are custom-built gates, you call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. They do custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, controlled access systems. They can put cameras around your gates, make everything work and be more secure and look great. 782-3936. That's 782-3936 for the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
What's Bobby Petrino thinking about this upcoming matchup? We'll share that with you next.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know.
Service.
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
For Leaf Guard of Arkansas. Going to throw out a few numbers at you. 50. Looking for 50 homeowners who need new gutters. If you qualify and you are one of those that need new gutters, going to throw out another number to you. Here it is. 75% off of labor on a complete Leaf Guard system. That's on new orders only. Other restrictions may apply. Now, this does not include material costs, though, but that's 75% off of labor. See a sales associate for details on that. Here's another one, 18 months. Ask about the 18 months no interest financing with a minimum purchase and approved credit. And the last number you need to know, 501-664-5400. And you're on your way to having the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market, guaranteed to never ever clog. No more muck and mud and shingle grit. 75% off labor, 18 months no interest financing, 501-664-5400, or visit leafguardandmore.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Resetting your password, unsubscribing from emails, printing anything. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your business doesn't have to be one of them, so you can get back to more important things, like learning how that printer works. That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $49.95 oil change, which includes 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today. For quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best in first-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition, we have top-rated paint brands, plus our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wondering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today. September 12th through the 30th, a 10-inch mum is only $8.99. Miracle Grow Potty Mix 1 cubic foot bag, only $9.99. Or Ortho Home Defense Killer 1.1 gallon, just $12.99 with your Ace Reward card.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Back of the end zone, got a man, touchdown Arkansas. Warren Thompson was wide open. They faked the option. KJ stepped up and fired it to the end zone. 23 yards and a touchdown.
Bobby Petrino, you better brace yourself. The Razorbacks are coming for you.
That's perfect timing for a question that's been posed to us by Brandon in Springdale. Do you think wearing neck braces are a classless act by Arkansas fans on Saturday?
I think it's more of a student section thing. I don't think there will be a ton of adult fans that are going to put themselves in a neck brace for 4 hours. No, those aren't comfortable.
I don't know if I've ever worn it.
But I would expect to see a number of them in the student section.
Okay. What percentage? Are we going like 50?
Well, I don't know, but I mean
75.
You know, if they can come up with a bunch of shark suits and some different stuff that they wear in basketball, I imagine they can come up with a few hundred neck braces. They're resourceful folks.
Yeah, Arkansas will be on display for the final game against Kentucky this regular season, and I guess Necksaw will be on display.
Bracesaw
will be on display this Saturday.
I would expect that would be the place I would look for them, probably more plentiful. Can you imagine wearing that around on? I mean, it's not going to be terribly hot, but it's going to be, 6 o'clock. I know the sun will be going down, late first quarter or whatever, early second quarter, but I'm not wearing that for 4 hours.
I guess I'm going to look at.
What's the point?
I don't know what the temperature is that night, but you'll probably see a lot of guys wearing neck braces and a lot of red sweaters in the student section from the females. If I had to guess,
probably too warm for a sweater. Hey, let me tell you, Wade. Monday Night Football last night, a great game that came down to the end between the Seahawks and the Broncos. Your favorite place to bet should be BetUS.com. Back for another year of NFL action with the industry's leading 200% sign-up bonus right now. NFL, NBA will be back around. Major League Baseball about to get into the postseason in a few weeks. They got hundreds of new casino games, including the very cool European slots. They got live dealers at the table. So if you need a sports book with integrity and longevity, and you're looking for a place that you know you're going to get paid, you need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses. I mean, it's all there for you. You need BetUS. Call 800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US. They'll walk you through setting up your account. Mention ESPN Arkansas and get up to a 200% bonus when you sign up. So they're going to double you up for the dollars you put down. That's BetUS.com. Mention ESPN Arkansas and get a 200% sign-up bonus on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Nobody. That's ESPN Arkansas for the code. Head to BetUS.com or again 800-79-BET-US. BetUS, where the game begins.
So what does Coach Petrino think about Sam Pittman?
Yeah, Sam's done a great job. You know, when you watch him play, and first and foremost, you see that they have deep beliefs in what they're doing. You know, what they're doing offensively, what they're doing defensively. The coaches really believe in it, and the players go out and execute it. And what he's done with that program, he's done a great job.
First time since 2011 that you've been a top 10 team in Fayetteville. You were a top 10 team last year and you got waxed in Athens, but this is the first time since 2011, I think since South Carolina came to town, that you've been a top 10 team in Fayetteville. Wow.
It that tells you where the program has been and who had it there last. And this is a good comparison between two eras that are a decade apart. I mean, Sam Pittman is 2 years in a row. He's gotten you inside the top 10. We'll see how long you can stay inside the top 10 because you fell out, after the Georgia game and never return. The schedule's set up to where I think you can hang in there for a while. Obviously, if you win Saturday, you lose Saturday, you may drop completely out of the poll. You'd be in danger of that. So this game's important for that. There's some upsets ahead of you. You might move up a slot or two, maybe. But you beat A&M, even though they fall into 24th, I think in Sunday's AP poll. You could be looking, just depending on what else happens, I don't know if you get to top 5 by the time you play Bama, but you're on top 7 or 8 matchup for that Bama game. You hang with them, and you're probably even a loss there. And I think Arkansas is, making its case for how they can be competitive already through 2 games. But even if you stay competitive, you come up short. We saw Texas jump into the poll on a loss. I wouldn't think Arkansas would plummet very far.
You'd have to look at some of the teams if you're trying to get in that top 5, as Tommy discussed. Kentucky, Oklahoma State, USC, and Oklahoma and Clemson are ahead of you right now, and you would just hope, if you're, again, trying to make it to that point, that one of those teams lose. Or maybe the Riders just see what you've done through the first 4 games and say, well, 3 of their first 4 games are tougher than anyone else that these guys have played. Because if I looked at their schedules, Tommy, I would guess that Arkansas has a tougher schedule starting out than any of the teams above them. That doesn't mean they're better, but they've done more with more at this point if they were to start 4-0. But
these polls don't mean anything anyway. They're fun to talk about. If you're in them, they're great. If you're not in them, well, they don't mean much. Arkansas's in them, and they still don't mean much to me other than you got a number by your name. It's all you got to go with right now. But, you just keep winning football games, and everything's going to work itself out in this league.
Yeah. Well, let me just push back on that just a little bit, because I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Sam Pittman pushed back on that yesterday. There's a reason that he was sharing that this team being in the top 10. That's a big deal. Back-to-back years, this team being in the top 10. He said he didn't, and I'm just using you as an example, he doesn't really care what you think. What I think, he's sending that to recruits. Yeah. That's who he's trying to talk to. And so I get some of you care way too much about being in the top 10. Some of you don't give a rat's you-know-what about being in the top 10. This is a big deal for this football program because, again, it's been a decade since last year since you've actually been there. Second, to show a recruit, not to in-state, it's easier to recruit. You say, oh, we're doing good, come play with us. But when you're going out of state and you're competing against Alabama, you're competing against LSU, when you have to compete against Texas and Oklahoma who are coming in the league, these guys want to see progress, and they are seeing that to this point. That's why it's important when you're getting the message out to young men that are potentially going to come to campus.
Oh, I get the recruiting. I'm just talking about where you can end up from a championship standpoint. Everybody gets wrapped up in all of that and what it means for the college football playoff, where this means nothing. I get the recruiting. Here's what it means for exposure. When you pull up ESPN's app or wherever, top 25, you're in it, in the top half of it. When they run highlights, you're in it and not buried. When they run the scores across the bottom, all day Saturday, you're in that top 25 that always makes it. So that kind of exposure ties back in. All that, I get that's important, But I'm just saying, ultimately, everybody thinks you're going to get shafted out of some kind of opportunity to play for a title somewhere based on these polls. And that, we get too wrapped up in that when really the poll that matters hadn't come out yet. I get the recruiting side, and yes, that's important, but ultimately, this isn't going to – you just keep winning, and you're going to be in the game you want to be in.
Well, I think some people get frustrated with the fact that certain teams start so high, so when they do lose, Tommy, they don't drop as far. Arkansas has to consistently climb up.
Well, we haven't earned the benefit of the doubt.
No, I get that.
You got to earn that.
But at the same time, our fans get frustrated when they see the likes of Notre Dame. They see the likes of Texas. They see these teams who are just there because of television ratings.
Well,
and
Texas
they have
just got the poll, so
anything on the field. But consistently, they're up, way overrated. You look at where they start the season and begin. And so that being said, if you start higher as a football team, even if you're not as good as people suspect to be, and you lose 1 or 2 games, you're not going to drop as much. But if you're outside the top 25 or low top 25, and even if you lose 1 game, it's a heck of a lot harder to climb up than it is to go down. So
in this league, it isn't. In this league, you just go win particularly if you play in the West, you just go win the games.
If I, for example, like the Big 12 in 2014 with TCU and Baylor, those teams did not start, to my knowledge, inside the top 10 or whatever. They rose up. They only lost 1 game each all season. They were left out of the college football playoff. If they had started higher and lost 1 game all year, They had started higher, they would be in the college football playoff. But Ohio State, who always starts, again, perennially, great team or whatever, that's why our fans get frustrated, because there is such a wider gap for blue bloods to mess up because they start so much higher in the polls. For you, you're either outside the top 25 or you're low top 25.
Why are they
and the
blue
expectation, because a lot of times
they win a lot.
But that doesn't. You always bring up the idea, and Chuck brings it up too, that just because Alabama is expected to win, that doesn't mean we should give them the trophy.
That's exactly
so that
right.
being said, we shouldn't just assume, hey, this team's going to be good because they're so-and-so.
So what do you want to do on a poll when you've had no games? That's why I wish you didn't have polls for the first 2 or 3 weeks. But TV demands them. TV needs them to make the matchups better, and it's more fun. It gives us something to debate about as well. But again, I go back to you bring up some examples from the Big 12, and you're right. But in the SEC, you just go win your games. You think a 6-1 or 7-0 or an 8-0, 7-1 SEC team at the end of November is not going to be in the top 10? Of course they are.
Well, I think where Arkansas fans are coming from, if let's say they went 11-1, we've talked about this scenario before. If Arkansas goes 11-1, you would probably still find a way to get left out of the college football playoff. There's not a doubt in my mind that when Bill Hancock and his team came together at the end of the year and they decided, hey, who are the top 4 teams in college football? And if you went 11-1, only lost to Alabama close at home, you would get left out. Now, the same is not said for Georgia. The same is not said for LSU. The same is not said for Alabama. But because you don't have that brand name and you didn't start in the top 10 or the top 5 like a lot of these teams do traditionally, that's where our fans get ticked off and frustrated. And so this idea...
Would you like to find out if that's true?
I would.
Would you like to go 11-1 and find out and test that theory?
But the reality of the situation is that's what Arkansas fans are faced with every single year. You do not get the benefit of the doubt. Now, baseball, you typically do. Basketball, I think we're trending in that direction. Football, you still don't get that.
Because you hadn't earned it. You hadn't earned it.
Okay, that
Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt because they have earned it.
But when you say these polls don't matter, like you've stated this morning.
Because the college football playoff poll is the only one that can put you in the playoff.
In the playoff. But yes, but if you look at their year after year, the coaches poll and the AP poll and the college football playoff poll, a lot of times are very similar.
Well, these aren't idiots voting in these other polls.
I realize that, but they take into account what's going on here, what's going on that. So if you're, again, lower in the other polls when you deserve to be higher,
so your theory is they just start with the AP. That's what the committee starts with, and that's how they've prime their first poll.
No, they just, but to say that they're not naive enough, as you just said, to not look at what the other polls have the other teams in slotted. That's why when you say these other polls don't matter, I push back a little bit because they do. Now, not to the extent of the college football playoff poll, but this idea that these other polls don't have any ramification on what
I didn't say 0%. I mean, you're trying to take it to the extreme, but I mean, the poll that matters is the one that comes out later. And I'm not
pushing back on that. But that's what I'm saying is.
All I'm saying is you're in the SEC. Go win your damn games, and you're going to be where you want to be in the poll. I mean, that's ultimately what you got to do. You're telling me if Arkansas is 12-0, they're not going to be in the college football playoff. They're not going to be in Atlanta and have a chance to. Of course they are. I mean, that's all I'm saying is you've got a schedule that allows you the opportunity every year to be there. The reality is Arkansas hasn't consistently won those games. They don't get the benefit of the doubt, and all you got to do is look back to the handful of years ahead of Sam Pittman to figure out why. You haven't earned that yet. You got to get there. This program hasn't won 10 games in how long? A decade. 10 games in a single season. There's been years where you add up multiple seasons and not get to 10 games.
Unfortunately,
so, that's why you don't get, that's how you got to get past all of that and have some consistency to get the benefit of the doubt that we all seek and desire. It's just, you're not there yet. They don't hand it out for free.
I don't know. I mean, do you want to stay on this or do you want to?
No, I mean, I'm just saying that we get too wrapped up in a lot of this often. I think Arkansas, if they win their next 2, it's going to be like number 2 versus number 7 or something like that. Yeah, and if you win that game, then you're going to be in the top 5. So
when they go, where would they go if they beat Alabama? They started out 5-0.
I mean, a lot of things have to happen. Getting the cart way in front of the horse. But if that scenario happened, that would depend on what Ohio State does, Georgia does, a lot of other things. But I would think you would be 3 or 4 at that point. I mean, and Alabama's probably going to drop out of the top 10 because you're going to factor in Texas and you're going to factor in a loss to Arkansas. So, I mean, but here's the thing. Here's the cool thing. We're sitting here discussing it because we know it's a possibility. How many times we sat here about the Alabama game and just held our head in shame because we knew there was no chance. We all realistically and legitimately believe there is a chance to win this game this year. And that's the cool thing about where you've advanced your program.
Jeremy and Harrison texted in and said, we are Arkansas fans and we can see a conspiracy under every rock. Great text in this morning, Jeremy, here on a Toyota Tuesday. If you want to text in on this or something else, we've got some Sam Pittman stuff we're going to get to, some Bobby Petrino stuff, and also some more Paul Feinbaum stuff. Feel free to get in here, 877-377-6963. Did you watch any of the Monday Night Football game last night?
Yeah.
Aikman, Buck.
That felt weird. I almost felt like I was on the wrong network when I first tuned that in. Then I had to go get my sunglasses to look at that Seattle jersey ensemble they had on. Man, was that bright. Neon lime green.
It's like color rush jersey. Yeah, they typically wear those things. You got Russell Wilson being booed last night, which I was a little surprised at. Super Bowl winning quarterback. Took him to 2. I don't know and again, why I bring that up is because I want to see how split it is this Saturday. You mentioned the student section wearing the neck braces, but Bobby Petrino got to your one and only BCS Bowl ever. And I know he screwed it up at the end, but I am very curious to see what percentage of fans boo him, what percentage of fans applaud him. I know the last time he was here publicly was at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, and he got a standing ovation. I don't know what it's going to look like on Saturday night and how he reacts and if he just completely shuts everyone out or if he's talkative. I have no idea.
I, for one, will not be booing. Again, Sam Pittman referenced, they use that era as a recruiting tool to show what's possible at Arkansas. The guy is a brilliant football mind. He made a terrible personal mistake, and he really, if you look at the evidence, he set this program back a decade with the way it ended. Arkansas has just now started to recover. In fact, it is not back to where he had it yet. We believe it's headed that direction, but it's taken more than a decade to get back here. So I won't be booing when he rolls out of the tunnel. I don't know that I'm going to stand and cheer either, but I'm not going to be one that's leading the boos from my section.
So I want to stick to something you just said there. Is that really his fault for a decade? You blame him for a decade? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Because I can't go back.
You can't blame him for that. You blame administration. You blame Brett Bielema. You blame the poor hires. But all I'm saying is it's taken you a decade to find your new North Star, to find your true identity. You have not recovered. It took a long time after Nolan left to find a coach with Eric Musselman. I know you kind of walled around with, Stan Heath and Pelfrey and, Mike got you back in that direction, but great coaches are hard to replace. And I think that's what we ultimately realized with all the other baggage. You had a pretty great coach there for 4 years.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I think some people just associate blame with almost strictly Petrino and said this is his fault for 10 straight years.
Well, he put you in that death spiral. He started it.
He started it, as you just said, but you also listed out a bunch of other factors, which, again, some people will solely blame him. Others will be more calculated in this, like you are with naming different other people.
What if they had hired Sam Pittman following Bielema? You said, well, we'd be 2 years ahead of schedule, compared to where you're at now. Well, would you be? Because would Barry Odom have been available then? Probably not. Beat Missouri, head coach. You stop and think, would all the pieces have lined up to the way they did when, December 2019 and this new era began? Probably wouldn't have worked 2 years ahead, but just because the same people weren't available.
William in Jonesboro texted in saying he thinks Bobby Petrino will get a standing ovation despite the jokes, despite the blow-up dolls, despite the neck braces.
I agree. And I think most of that will be contained to the student section. There'll be a few people that have had too many at the tailgate that'll, take that in. But I'll be interested. Sure, I don't know, will they stop some of that stuff at the gate? Will they keep that stuff from being brought in? I hope they don't. If that's what people want to do, they should be allowed to do it unless there's some safety issue for those around you.
With
But
neck braces.
I just don't think most adults are going to go through the expense, the time, and the trouble. There'll be some, but I don't think out of 70-something thousand people you're going to see half the crowd doing it, or even a tenth of the crowd outside of the student section.
Dustin texted and he said he would boo Brett Bielema before Petrino. Think that's a shared sentiment from our listeners this morning?
I think we're a forgiving state. You referenced the Little Rock Touchdown Club he was at. Was that 2018 he was there? Like 4 years ago, and he got a standing ovation there. So I think we're a forgiving state. I don't think we're quite past Bielema and just the way that ended. But there were some that didn't like the way his firing went down. So I don't. A lot of that blame still goes to Jeff Long.
George in Missouri texted and he said, "I understand Petrino's the one that made the mistake, but you could argue the powers that be hired the next two coaches and played a huge part in the setback."
Absolutely,
George, I agree.
1,000% with you.
Tommy and I agree 100%.
John L. Smith, I don't really hold Jeff Long as accountable for that. I mean, your hands were tied to a great degree. You could have had Phil Fulmer. You probably should have done that in hindsight, but John L. made sense because of continuity. But totally get, I mean, what was Jeff Long to do in April hiring a football coach? I mean, I can't fault him too much there, and he quickly moved on after one season.
Jamie texted in. You can text in as well, 877-377-6963, that Petrino didn't set back Arkansas 10 years. Jeff Long did. What do you think about Jeff's decision to fire him?
Well, everybody praises Jeff Long for firing Petrino, that we're long on integrity and all of these things that, to allow the great leadership of Jeff Long. Who hired Bobby Petrino? Knowing a lot of these things, he might not have known that he would. Yes,
Mr.
you in the back.
Jeff Long?
Yeah, Jeff Long is the correct answer on who hired Petrino. Knowing not necessarily that he was going to have a mistress on the back of a motorcycle and crash the bike in a ditch, but knowing that there were potential issues with his coach. Here's the thing I think is the most interesting question when you bring up Petrino. Knowing everything you know now, you could back it all the way up to, what was it, December of 2007, right?
No. I know.
Would you do it again?
Yes.
And that's where I think I'm with you. Knowing what you know now, would you still marry the stripper? I mean, because that's what you've done here. Knowing it's going to end in flames and disaster. Would you do it again, knowing how it's going to end? I think the vast majority of Razorback fans would support everything that went down.
It's the same question if you won a national championship and years later it came out that you're cheated, you got sanctioned, and you got suspended, player and coach got fired and stuff, and people ask, would you do it again? The answer is absolutely yes, because you won that national championship. Now, Arkansas did not win a national championship, but you had some great times. It was anything but lean in 2010, 2011. Would you love to have that Bama game back in 2010? Absolutely. That's a game you should have won. There's probably another game or two that you like to have back. Auburn 2010 as well, where what if Ryan didn't get injured? So, yeah, I don't even think it's – I mean, I didn't hesitate at all.
Yeah,
I think you absolutely
I think that's the real question. If you had a chance to reshape, reform, redo history, JT in Hot Springs says no. That he wouldn't have hired him. You'd have ended up with someone like, Jim Grobe or Tommy Bowden or something of that nature. Your program may never have gotten on track.
Yeah.
You may be Missouri right now.
JW, short marriages to hot strippers provide a lifetime of great memories. Yes, I do it again. Thank you for that glorious text here on a Toyota Tuesday, JW.
Hey, if you're going to the game Saturday and you want to make sure, and there is going to be a huge crowd there Saturday. I mean, tickets are hard to get for this one. Tailgating is going to be unbelievable this week. Best tailgating of the year to this point with a 6 o'clock start. Got to have TV. There's games at 11, 2:30, 3 o'clock. You want to watch them all. The Playmaker system at World of Wireless, there's a few available to rent, a few to buy this week, but they are running short because everybody wants one. 877-305-DISH. Take TV on the go with your Dish receiver from WOW World Wireless. 877-305-DISH. Ask for the Playmaker.
Let's hear what Sam Pittman had to say about Bobby Petrino coming up in just a sec.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design. Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you an experienced concrete finisher? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forestgrin is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForestgrin.com. GoForestgrin.com. Apply now at GoForestgrin.com. Are you an experienced dump truck driver? Do you want to make the highest salary in the area? Do you want to get paid bonuses for your good work? Then Forestgrin is for you. Apply now from any device, anytime, anywhere at GoForestgrin.com. GoForestgrin.com. Apply now at GoForestgrin.com.
Metal Mart offers high-quality, prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be the company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials you need to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. With locations in Fort Smith, Mayflower, Jonesboro, and Little Rock. Or catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will hang out right around 85 degrees. We will remain clear tonight and overnight, low upper 50s to near 60. Wednesday, back to sunny skies, our high upper 80s. And Thursday, blue sky, sunshine, our high in the middle to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The number one thing is our penalties. We've got to figure out how to get those cleaned up. Most of those, if not all, the penalties on defense happened on third down, and they were all 5 for 15, 75 yards, and just can't happen. And we've got to really emphasize it. We've got good coaches. They'll help with that, and we've got to get it fixed because it's going to come back and bite us if we don't.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So Sam Pittman was very complimentary of Bobby Petrino and what he did at Arkansas, and actually kind of looked over when he was here at Arkansas. I'm talking about when Sam Pittman was here on Brett Bielema's staff. His last time Arkansas really mattered was when Bobby Petrino was coaching this football team. Let's hear what Sam had to say about Coach Petrino coming up in just one sec.
You know, we had temperatures across the region, kind of starting the morning in the low 50s. It's a crisp, not quite yet fall morning. I mean, it feels nice out there. And there's no better way to start the morning when it's like this than in your own hot spring spa. I mean, you can feel fall coming. You can almost see the leaves changing from your hot spring spa on a morning like this. And right now, you can save up to $4,900 at Burton Pools and Spas on select Hot Springs hot tubs. I bought one about a year ago. And I'm telling you, there is I don't get to start the day very often that way because of the morning radio. But I'm going to tell you, on the weekends or ending your day after a workout or whatever, just you've had a tough day at the office, man, you just get neck deep in that 102-degree water. You got them Bluetooth speakers you can have put on there. You can listen to, the Morning Rush podcast or Give Me the Hogs Chuck podcast or your favorite music. It's just a good way to relax and unwind. And you can get one right now during the Hot Springs Spa truckload sale that's going on. Get some of that warm, bubbly water all around you. Again, savings up to $4,900 off with payments or financing with payments are as low as $80 a month right now. Burton Pools and Spas is in Springdale and in Fort Smith. It's the Truckload of Savings event on Hot Springs Hot Tubs right now. Burton Pools and Spas celebrating 44 years of backyard fun.
Here's Coach Pittman on Coach Petrino.
Last time Arkansas was relevant was when Coach Petrino was here, and we're very grateful for his time here and what he did for the program. We've used that in recruiting, and without him and his staff, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So it'll be exciting for him, I'm sure, to come back here.
One thing about Sam Pittman is he's always very gracious. He's always very kind to the incoming opponent, the coach, the quarterback, whoever it may be. You're never going to get any quote-unquote locker room material or anything like that the other team can use to motivate, because Sam Pittman rarely gives him any. And I thought that was I didn't expect that, to be honest. The fact that, again, he kind of glossed over what Brett Bielema and company did when he was here, because let's be honest, Arkansas was not back under Bielema. You thought they were going to be. And you said it
got
best
close.
earlier. You didn't get over that hump.
Yep.
And I thought that was a
Broke
great
over.
way to describe it earlier.
If Drew Morgan gets into the end zone in that third quarter at the Belk Bowl against Virginia Tech, that's a play that I think ultimately was, when you look back on it, that play goes, a fraction of an inch almost on whether it was a touchback or a touchdown. You win that game, because I think if you score at that point, it's over.
That would have put it, 31-3? It was 24-3 at that point?
But it would have been too much to overcome for Virginia Tech. It wins that game because it was all about blowing the lead in the second half and ends of the year and losses to Missouri, and those were just the logs that were stacking on the fire. It's those little things. That's what amazes me. I mean, you look at Scott Frost in Nebraska. There's a lot of evidence piling up why he should have lost. They want him gone so bad they paid an extra $7.5 million to get rid of him 3 weeks. 3 weeks from now, they could have saved $7.5 million. It's just amazing the difference between success and failure. It was close for Bielema. I mean, Sam Pittman had a front row seat. I'm sure they were using the Petrino days as recruiting tools even then when he worked for Bielema. So he understands. He was close enough to that past that, he understands why it's important to his current situation. But, the question is, can you create that history that everyone's going to remember, that foundation? Problem is, it all got blown up, and then it was excavated, and you had to start over with Chad Morris. I mean, they pulled the foundation of the very program out of the ground in those 2 years. So, I mean, it's been a reclamation project here, and now you need to reflect back that it can happen here, and there is evidence that you can be this good. There is evidence you can compete for the West, even with a very good Alabama and LSU. We've seen it. So, the next step is to beat an Alabama, to slay a giant. That's the one thing that really hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I did the math, and I'll do it when we get closer to that Bama game, how long it's actually been since 2006, number of days, number of hours, number of minutes since you've claimed yourself as a victor over the Crimson Tide, a victory that you've not gotten since Nick Saban has arrived in Tuscaloosa. The only SEC West team that has not beaten Alabama since he arrived there. Mississippi State did. Sylvester Croom, 2007. Ole Miss, we know, has done it. Auburn's done it. A&M's done it. Who the other West? LSU's done it. You're the only team in the West that hadn't done it, which is frustrating. It frustrates the dog out of me. It frustrates the dog out of you. Hopefully this year will be different.
Texas nearly
did it. Yeah, Texas almost did. That would have been something. I think it's a good text, and we haven't mentioned this at this point. I'm glad Calvert from Boonville brought it up. The game, Saturday night, it's on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus. It's not on terrestrial television. So just to kind of walk through a reminder again for those that are having to deal with this. If you have a cable subscription with ESPN, you do not have to pay for ESPN Plus.
Or a satellite subscription.
Or satellite. All you have to do is log in to either on your iPad, your iPhone, or do you have a smart TV? Just put in your credentials for that. It's the SEC Network Plus, ESPN Plus. It's all the same thing, basically.
But I don't know my login, Ty.
Well, you're on your own then. I don't know what to help you on that. But I don't want you to have to pay $5 more or $7 or $8 more, whatever it is now, when you don't have to do that.
We talked about this. Have you looked at tickets for this game?
They're expensive.
I mean, and I think game time has as much to do with it as Bobby Petrino or any of that other stuff. I think people saw this 6 o'clock start. Back in the middle of the summer, SEC Media Days, some of these times started coming out, 6 o'clock, tailgating, all-day fun, 18 beers, all these things. You make your plans, you buy your tickets. The foundation also gave some tickets away to season ticket holders for this game. You had your choice of a couple, 3 games. They were upper deck, east side tickets for the most part, but those tickets aren't available. You go on the map, Missouri, go to ArkansasRazorbacks.com, try to buy some tickets. Nope. For this game, Alabama game, nope. You got to call. Now, they say there's some if you call the foundation office. You go to StubHub, SeatGeek, any of those secondary ticket market locations, we're talking upper deck seats, 150 to 200 a piece to sit, 503 row 18. You get down in the lower sections of the upper deck, closer to $200. Lower level, I mean, you're seeing tickets $700-800. Now, I don't know that all of them are selling at that price, but that's what they're listed for. Some guy had some listed in $123 for $4,500.
Yeah,
those aren't going to sell, but
That guy's a B-A-S-T-A-R-D. If he's trying to sell for that much.
Well, you can ask anything, but I can tell you this: tickets are moving in that 150 to 200 range. People are buying right now, so that's what it's worth to some. For 4, spending close to $800. I mean, I'm amazed that a FCS opponent's bringing that kind of value to the fans.
If they're that much now, Tommy, think about how much they'll be if you win the next 2 games and Bama's in town.
Bama, those games are going to be incredible. Hey, dollar tacos on Saturday all day long at Joe's, plus half-price apps and taps during the game. They'll have it on even through the streaming stuff there, so don't miss the game. If you're not going, tickets are too high, whatever, Joe's will be there for you to watch the game and get the dollar tacos and half-price apps and taps. It's also Tuesday, which means it's Taco Tuesday, so dollar tacos today as well. Your choice of beef or chicken, crispy tacos. I like these 8-inch beef burritos for $3 each. You can go there, and plus you can add some sides on with it. It's all at Joe's Grill. Taco Tuesday today. Half-price apps and taps during the game on Saturday night. Joe's Grill, South 74th and Fort Smith.
Inman Springdale also brings up its family weekend for college. So it's going to be rowdy this weekend in Fayetteville.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
Farewell complications. Later stress. Goodbye business hours. Want a new level of banking convenience? Say hello to the Arvest Go mobile banking app from Arvest Bank. With Arvest Go, you can deposit checks, pay bills, log lost or stolen debit cards. You can even pay people directly with just a tap. Arvest Go lets you bank virtually anytime, anywhere. And it's only from Arvest Bank. Goodbye limits, hello possibilities. Arvest Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
September is here, and at Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down, and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting bays with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
What says relaxation better than the warm, bubbly water and jet massage of a hot tub? Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. The Truckload of Savings event is the perfect time to get a hot tub that you've always wanted and enjoy the relaxation that comes along with a hot spring spa. Hey, right now at Burton Pools and Spas, the Truckload Savings event will save you up to $4,900 off on select Hot Springs hot tub models. They have easy financing. In fact, payments are as low as $80 a month with approved credit. And they can get your hot tub, quote, ready to go and get you financed in under 5 minutes when you stop in at Burton Pools and Spas. Now, they're in Springdale. They're also in Fort Smith. And this Truckload Savings event won't last long. You can first look online if you want at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. It's the Truckload Savings event on Hot Spring Spas. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun for more than 44 years.
This is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Get your home or office looking its best for this football season with new flooring from Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, ceramic, porcelain tile, or luxury vinyl planks, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs with brands such as Bow Floors and flooring supplies from Maupe. And let's get started on beautifying your office or home. We even do countertops. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. Davis Floor Covering with 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Call 452-4808.
The 10 is up, and the Big Fall Hunting and Fishing 4-day sale starts this Wednesday at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Check out the savings on fall hunting and fishing gear under the tent and throughout the store. Everything you need to make this fall one to remember. Get ready for fall at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith. Don't miss it this Wednesday through Saturday. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The corporal will wait for an answer.
So got a great text from AC, and I had another Morning Rush Daily Question, but I want to use this instead. What would it take for the Pittman era to pass the Petrino era? 877-377-6963. Great text, AC.
That is a really good one. Good audible at the line of scrimmage for you to use.
Hot route.
I think to equal it, you got to get to a New Year's Day 6 game, right? I think that's the first thing you got to do is you got to have let me back up. In order to do that, you got to have a 10 or 11 win year and get to a New Year's Day 6 type bowl. Now, as the playoffs expand, maybe we change the definition of what success is, because I think if there had been a 12-team playoff in 2010 and you went to the Sugar Bowl, you would be in that 12-team playoff. So, somewhere in that, as that comes in 24 or 5 or maybe even 6, I think would meet the equality of it. So you're going to have to top that, which would mean you have to get into the current playoff format, I think, to exceed the Petrino era. I mean, we only measure it at its greatness, right? We only
a peak.
Yeah, I mean, we want to measure it at its peak. So that's the peak of the Petrino era, is back-to-back years that he had in 10 and 11. Finished third. I mean, number 3 in the poll, third in the West. I mean, he's just unlucky about how good LSU and Bama both were that year. So, to me, that's what you'd have to do to at least equal the heights of the Petrino era.
William Jonesboro and Weston Benville say just beat Bama. That is their thing. Something that
I get that. But if you beat Bama and you still end up, say, 9 wins, and you end up in a bowl similar to last year, nothing wrong with it going to Florida in the Outback Bowl. But in the end, is that the same? They don't count the Bama. I know we may, as fans, count it as like 1.5 or 2 wins because it's been so long and it means so much. But if you beat Bama and you end up at 9-3, and
you're saying
maybe you win 10 with a bowl.
So if we went 9-4 and then 10-3 compared to 10-3 and 11-2, because that's what it was in 2010, 2011. But you beat Alabama in that year. I think some people would jump on William and Jonesboro and Weston Benville, and then others would be on your train. I tend to, even though I
I want to beat the Crimson Tide more than life itself. I tend to agree with you just because the collective overall is, I think, better. It's not that much. It's just a little bit better. I would say that plays into it being Alabama. But you talking about making a BCS Bowl, y'all, this is the year, and it came early. It's kind of like Eric Musselman, year 2 of the bat. None of y'all expected that team to go to the Elite Eight. With 4 freshmen, not a single one of y'all could have predicted that. They had enough progress early. This football team, which had to take over a much worse situation than what Muss walked into, if they got to a BCS Bowl at this point, and I'm saying BCS Bowl, yes, I know it no longer exists, but you know what I mean, they would be a year early. And you could even say they're 2 years early. A&M's not any good. They don't have a quarterback. Jimbo still hadn't figured that out. LSU's down. Ole Miss isn't as good as they were last year. Yes, Bama is still Bama. The Texas game was an anomaly. They'll be better than they were in that last week. This is the year where you can be in that same realm, in that same category that you were in 2010 and 2011. Yeah. The exact same category, in my opinion. You're right on the cusp. You're not there yet. You're not there to where you can beat Alabama and Georgia consistently. You might be able to get Bama this year, but you're right on the cusp, in my opinion, based on where. And the West is just down. We'll see how Mississippi State is. I think they might be better than people think. But that's where you are right now as an Arkansas football fan.
I mean, I think you got an argument there about that game. And William in Jonesboro texted back, and he has, Petrino, we would consider that time a success. He had 0 wins over Bama. So, I mean, you can be a success without beating Bama. I know the other question was, just beating Bama, or the answer to the question was just beating Bama would make you more successful. It is something Petrino never did, but I don't think you consider the Bobby Petrino era, at least on the field, lacking success in those particular 2 years. Neither one of them included a win over Bama. So you don't have to necessarily beat Bama to call it a success.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that. Robin Mountain Home saying an SEC championship would be his deal. That is a great, and I can't take credit for this Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. I have to give that credit to AC. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. Man, I love my 98 Dodge Ram back in the day. It's a great vehicle. All right, so we're going to talk with Bruce Stanton coming up in just a bit. Tommy's got his SEC power rankings that we're going to get into. Also want to talk about Scott Frost. Where the heck does Nebraska go? Pete Thamel listed Sam Pittman as a potential candidate for that job in Lincoln. That's not going to happen, but I am curious to see where that administration goes. Yeah. And we'll touch on that with Bruce Stanton coming up. But you've got your power
my 1
rankings.
through 14, the Morning Rush SEC power rankings for week 2 as we welcome Bruce Stanton into the conversation. Bruce, good morning.
Morning, guys. How y'all doing?
We are good, man. What a weekend of SEC football, of upsets around college football. The NFL, just had a really, really solid first week as well. What were some of your takeaways from the second week of college football and the first weekend of the NFL?
Well, I mean, obviously, college football, getting these upsets, especially when it's not your team or our team, it's awesome. The Texas Alabama game just kind of set the table for a great day. Nobody on this radio broadcast likes Texas, but I got a feeling there were actually some people rooting for Texas against Saban just to kind of upset the apple cart. So, interesting situation for Razorback fans to root either for Texas or for Alabama, depending on how hard your loyalties, I guess, resided. But that was a great start to the Saturday, and a lot of great games. And I love Monday nights. My wife, Lyanne, loves watching Peyton and Eli on the ESPN2 telecast. And Peyton's good with zingers. It's just good to see the brothers go back and forth. And it was actually a good game last night. So football's here, and we got about 4 months of fun in front of us.
Yeah. All right, some great SEC games over the weekend. So let's get to our Morning Rush SEC rankings here for the second week, and we'll start at the top. Should there be some movement with Bama? Where should Tennessee climb to? What do you do with Kentucky? What about Arkansas? How far does Florida drop? Well, let's take a look at all that and kind of where we've got them slotted 1 through 14. with our SEC Morning Rush rankings. All right, Georgia stays at the top, guys. They beat Samford 30-0. Stetson Bennett had 300 yards. They play South Carolina this week. I think Georgia was probably disappointed in a 30-0. I mean, Kirby Smart said as much. 30-0. They stay at number 1 in our Morning Rush rankings. Alabama, I still got it number 2. They escape Austin with the win. Bryce Young, 213 yards. He won that game, though, guys, with his legs. 7 carries, 38 yards, but it was that 20-yard run that did Texas in ultimately at the end. I got Georgia 1, Bama at 2. Any issues keeping Bama at 2?
I guess just based on the way the weekend went, Arkansas won, I think, in dominant fashion, pushed South Carolina around, 300 yards on the ground. I'm not just for spicing things up. I might lean toward putting Arkansas number 2. I thought Alabama, again, just based on what Texas did last year, that was a very pedestrian victory. Yeah, it's on the road against Texas, but Texas probably isn't going to win 9 or 10 games this year. So, that might be the only.
Yeah.
Arkansas, the way they played, I could see them being number 2, but,
All right. I've got Arkansas at 3. Got Arkansas 3. My thought was Bama's performance was somewhat of an outlier. How many? They may not have 15 penalties the rest of the year total. They had 15 penalties in one game. So I got Arkansas at 3. They're as physical up front as anyone. Maybe Kentucky would be the one comparison in this league. Got to figure out injuries. Injuries are becoming a problem for this football team. So I got Georgia 1, Bama 2, Arkansas 3. I moved Kentucky up a couple of spots. They were at 5 last week. I've got Kentucky, or I moved them up 2 slots from 6 to number 4. Impressive win against Florida. They've won 3 of the last 5 against the Gators. Will Levis proving to be one of the top quarterbacks in this league. 13-24, 202 yards. I got Kentucky at number 4.
Well, and I think that's very good ranking for Kentucky. That's a big win for them in the East to go to Florida, win the swamp. It's one of those weights you got to get off your chest. Even though I think Kentucky's better than Florida, you still got to go do it. And they're proving that what Stoops is building, very solid up front on both sides of the ball. And like you said, we got Will Levis, you got Vassier Smoke in the backfield. They got some talent on offense finally, and probably not just going to depend on running the ball 3 downs like they have in the past. So Kentucky, a very dangerous football team this year.
Tennessee coming in at number 5. Hendon Hooker, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns. And what I describe as a mature road win for this Tennessee team. They acted like veterans. They go to Pitt and win. I moved Tennessee to number 5, Bruce.
Yeah, and again, I think Tennessee should have won. They were favored by 6. They did a road game, but Pitt doesn't have the same players they had last year. Tennessee's got some issues on special teams, tried to give the game away. I thought the offense looked choppy in places. So, based on Texas A&M laying an egg, that's probably a good place for Tennessee.
Will Rogers in Mississippi State moves into the number 6 spot, biggest mover up in the poll. I had them at number 9 a week ago. Going to Arizona, winning on Monday morning or whenever that game actually ended, 39-17 against Arizona. That was impressive to go 2 time zones away from sleepy Starkville to Arizona and win that one in Tucson. I got Mississippi State at 6. Florida beaten by a very physical Kentucky team. I dropped them 3 spots to number 7 in the poll. Anthony Richardson, 14-35. Had 4 touchdowns or 2 interceptions in the game, no touchdowns. Anthony Richardson, they took away his legs in this game, just 4 yards of rushing. Kentucky's game plan was good. Florida not good enough to overcome that, Bruce. I've dropped them to number 7 this week.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if we really believe the hype on Utah. I mean, Utah got ranked in the top 10 and went down and got beat at Florida, and we jumped all over the Florida bandwagon and the AR bandwagon. Kentucky probably put them back where they belong. So I think that's probably just a couple of overreactions. I don't think Utah was as good as we thought they were, and maybe Florida wasn't as bad as we thought they were, but, probably all kind of settling out.
Can't really figure out what we got with Ole Miss, but I'll leave them at number 8 where they were a week ago. Soft schedule so far. They beat UCA 59-3. Jackson Dart was 10 of 15, 182 yards in the game. I just really don't know with Ole Miss. I mean, they don't play anybody for a while. They haven't played anybody with Troy and UCA. They get Georgia Tech, which will be a step up in class this week ahead of Tulsa. Then we'll find out what we have with Ole Miss on October 1. Same day as Arkansas plays Bama, Ole Miss plays Kentucky. I'm going to leave Ole Miss at number 8, but this could go either way with the Rebels.
Yeah, I thought Georgia Tech played Clemson well for most of the game defensively, so this will be a test for Ole Miss. But, yeah, they played a cupcake schedule. Kind of hard to gauge.
All right, the next spots were the toughest for me to figure out what slot people really deserve to be in. You put A&M at 9, South Carolina at 9. Do you put Auburn up there? So here's where I went 9, 10, and 11. I dropped A&M 2 spots. Probably deserved to drop further, but I got them 9th in the league. I still think they're better right now than South Carolina will prove to be. I got A&M at 9, South Carolina at 10, Auburn at 11. I mean, you can't lose to App State and stay in the top half of this league, number 1. Haynes King didn't have 100 yards.
I want to hear what Ty says. Ty was so high on Texas A&M last week. Are you kind of coming off that Aggie bandwagon, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, I told Chuck and Tommy, Bruce, I was just like, I don't know if I'm willing to 100% put Arkansas ahead of them. And I told Tommy and Chuck on Friday, I thought App State had a good chance to beat them, or not beat them, but cover. And they didn't just do that; they beat them. So I was ecstatic. Did you see the Aggie Yell video, Bruce, from the night before? It is just gold. I'll send that to you after the show. I actually think that Texas A&M eradicated it from social media, but watching that team falter and watching Jimbo just fume after the game is beautiful. It's chef's kiss for unbelievable.
I'm wondering, if you're an athletic director, why would you play Appalachian State? You don't get credit for beating them, and they're good enough to beat anybody anywhere. It's just like Southern Miss used to be. Why would you do that?
There's no upside to it. So A&M losing to App State, I moved them to 9. I put South Carolina at 10. Here's my logic on this. Arkansas beat them in a very physical game. They had no ability to rush the football at all with Rattler. They threw it for nearly 400 yards in this game. I get it. But they get Georgia this week. That's 2 physical games in a row. I think they'll prove to be more like 10 with their record when it's all said and done, because there is no easy path playing Arkansas and Georgia in back-to-back weeks. That is a meat grinder for South Carolina physically. So I left them behind A&M because I think they're just going to be physically beat up, and A&M's going to have the same problem playing Arkansas and Bama back-to-back weeks. So South Carolina at 10. Auburn, they got a chance to make a move this week. They're at 11. They could leapfrog a couple of teams if they beat 22nd-ranked Penn State. I'm not really sure how good Penn State is. They beat Purdue and they beat Ohio. Not Ohio State, Ohio. So, I mean, I'm not really sold on Penn State yet. TJ Finley, 13 of 20 in the game, had no touchdowns, 1 interception, I think like 110 yards or something like that. So I got Auburn at 11. Going to leave LSU at 12. Nussmeier versus Jaden Daniels. I mean, they got issues at quarterback. Nussmeier was 13 of 23, 2 picks in the game. Daniels came in, was 10 of 11, 3 touchdowns on 137 yards. They may have found their answer. They're at 12. Vandy at 13, their first loss of the year to a ranked Wake Forest team. And the easiest thing in this poll, guys, was put Missouri 14th. I mean, Missouri. Yeah. I mean, I started with 14 writing in Missouri and number 1 putting Georgia, and then kind of went from there. There was no thought left in that. They lose to Kansas State 40-12.
They got waxed.
I mean, Brady Cook 15 of 27, 2 interceptions. His QBR was 36.1. The only thing worse than that I saw from the weekend was Nussmeier from LSU. Any guesses on his QBR? I'll tell you, 18.9. That's his. So that's our rankings for this week. Georgia 1, followed by Bama, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Tennessee at 5. Mississippi State, Florida, Ole Miss at 8, A&M at 9, South Carolina at 10. The bottom 4: Auburn, LSU, Vandy, and Missouri. All right, where am I right? Where am I wrong?
I think you nailed it. I know I texted you after A&M lost to App State on Saturday that go ahead and rank them 14th. I mean, that was just a joke. But no, I think you got it. I think Mississippi State, I didn't stay up and watch that game like Clay Henry always does. He always brags about staying up late to watch the West Coast because he's old and he can't sleep. But, that's probably the only one, just because I hadn't really watched them that I might take issue with.
From an Arkansas perspective, I think if you look at the quarterbacks in this league, you'd say Bryce Young is still number one, right? I think a lot of Arkansas fans would tell you KJ's the second best quarterback in this league. But you start looking at Jefferson, Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, Will Rogers. Anybody else I'm leaving out of that conversation that should be like top five? I mean, you can say Stetson Bennett, but
Bennett's done enough through 2 weeks to get some people on his back.
Right. I mean, but you look at that group of quarterbacks with Jefferson, Hooker, Levis, Rogers, Bennett. That's a tough group to separate yourself as best amongst that group. And then after that would probably be, Anthony Richardson from Florida, who had a tough go. I mean, then you got to throw Rattler probably next in that conversation. So, I mean, this league has got better quarterback play this year than it's probably had or deeper quarterback play, Bruce, than it's had in a while.
Well, what we saw last week was you had a couple of signature moments. You saw Bryce Young. Alabama obviously underperformed, struggled, but when it got down to the end, you knew Bryce Young, you thought the guy had him dead to rights, 50-yard line, and was going to sack him, but he said, I'm getting under this, and I'm going to use my legs and get us a field goal range, and that's what he did. He performs when the game's on the line. And the one thing I was kind of proud about Hooker, he did perform at the end in overtime, had the long touchdown pass, and kind of had a signature moment, big 300-yard passing game. So I think we're going to evaluate these players at the end on how they perform at crunch time. I think KJ is going to get his chance. Bennett, the only thing you kind of get concerned about him doesn't really matter the way they play. They're just mowing over people. Will he ever get a chance to have a signature moment? Maybe in the SEC championship game, but I don't know if he's going to before then.
It is October 29th when Kentucky and Tennessee play. I know Tennessee's got Florida coming up in a couple of weeks, but that's a game I mean, never thought we'd say we're looking forward to someone playing Kentucky, but that's going to be a heck of a matchup in the East. Man, these cool starts to the day are getting me fired up a little bit. I know it's probably got the fish moving a little bit. Maybe is it a little bit later in the day you should go now, or how's the early morning stuff doing now that the water temperature and the air temperature is cooling off?
Well, that's a good observation. Conventional wisdom says go first thing in the morning, but if you're a river fisherman, the water flow is so low, the Corps of Engineers, they're just not generating in the morning. Most of the generation is happening in the early afternoon, especially in the Fort Smith area. So, you want to go out and jetty fish some of the cuts, and get some really good topwater action because the river's clearing up. You want to go in the afternoon, get that evening bite, just kind of slip out of the office when no one's looking about 3 o'clock. Go get the boat pulled up. Don't take the boat off. That makes it obvious. But just, get
I got a meeting. I got a meeting about 3 o'clock.
I work for a fishing company. I can do that. But, get on out there and fish till dark, pick up the wife something from a restaurant coming home and just have a great afternoon fishing. But you want those Boss Pops, Rebel Pop-Rs, Head and Boyo, Super Spook Junior. You want to get out on the ends of the jetties, largemouth, spotted bass, white bass, and maybe even some stripers. You're fishing Dardanelle and Ozark Pool. But it's a good time to be out fishing shallow on the river in the afternoons.
All right, Bruce, good to hear from you. Hope to see you next week here in the studio.
All right. Talk to y'all.
All right, Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing. Find everything at lurenet.com or your favorite tackle stores in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and across the country. Big day Saturday. I can't believe how I think it's the 6 o'clock start, but it's amazing how difficult tickets are for this game on Saturday against Missouri State. Normally a game like this, I think you got the Bobby factor. I think the 6 o'clock factor is bigger than anything.
Well, you said it earlier, SEC Media Days, we got 3 game times announced for Arkansas. The 2:30 Cincinnati, the 11 o'clock South Carolina, and the 6 o'clock Missouri State. This being family weekend, this being a matchup where Bobby Petrino's coming into town, in addition to the 6 o'clock start. All these things are pushing and helping attendance, and that's why tickets on third-party websites are so expensive right now, because not a lot of tickets left.
Yeah. All right, we got full coverage Saturday beginning at 1 o'clock, so be sure and tune in right here to ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. We were just talking with Bruce about these cool starts to the morning. I love going to Gaston's and getting out early, on a Saturday or Sunday morning when you got a little bit of bite in the air, getting down to the dock, You know, you can feel that that cool coming off of the water, getting that topwater boat with one of their expert guides, head up towards the dam. You know, it's just such a fun ride up there, and you know, just brings you alive. I mean, the crispness of the air, particularly on the White River, where you got that cool water that's, you know, under 50 degrees coming from the bottom of the dam. There's no better place in North America to catch trophy browns and rainbows than at Gaston's. That's why it's the premier trout fishing resort in North America. It's right here in our own backyard. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
It's the most wonderful time.
Whoa, Dad,
of the
Christmas is
year.
months away. Why are you singing that?
Oh, no, Matt, it's football season. That is the most wonderful time of the year.
You know, your dad's side is approaching legendary status. Anyway, Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert, a.k.a. Legendary Dad Guy.
Dad, please stop. Folks, he is right, though. It is time for football.
And, Matt, with all the hype surrounding this year's football team, everyone should be loading up on their hog gear now before it's too late.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback has all things Razorback.
Yep, whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff. Hey, Matt, you do have your dorm room.
Dad, I graduated 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Keep forgetting.
Folks, come and see us at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. And Matt, I'm going to leave that WWS.
He means our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. It does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Español.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. You need a sports book with integrity and longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Sam Pittman's happy to be back in the top 10 as they were last year. Here was how he discussed that yesterday.
Well, I think it's a big deal. I do. Everybody always looks at the negative all the time, you know, and I tweeted out that we were number 10, and then I got some responses, well, it doesn't matter. Well, I ain't tweeting it out to you guys or a 50-year-old man. I'm trying to use it as recruiting, you know, so I really don't care what the guy says, you know what I mean? I'm trying to recruit, not him or them, a recruit.
Yeah, well, but the fan wants to win. You know, and at the end, just win the games and the numbers take care of themselves. So, Coach is right, but I also understand the sentiment because I kind of feel, I mean, they matter from that standpoint, Ty, but at the same time, doesn't change anything about Saturday. So, you don't get a lead. They don't put 6 points on the board for you because you're ranked number 8 in the country or 10 in the country or whatever. You still got to go out and win. So,
I think Sam Pittman, that's his number one goal in mind. I just think when it's talking with kids, it's not just about winning. It's about the prestige. It's about a bunch of other things. I mean, you always joke all the time how your generation is so much different than the younger generation. The younger generation has to see all the glitter and all the glam and all that other stuff. That's
and
why
it's important for that.
And that's all he's trying to
That's what drives us nuts.
That's all he's doing is showing that to recruits. Got the announcement yesterday. Texas A&M, Arkansas, 6 o'clock in Jerry World on ESPN. You've gotten some good game time slots these first 4 weeks. I mean, first 6 o'clock game being this weekend, and then the next one in Jerry World, Under the Whites, Todd Blackledge, Sean McDonough, ESPN, 4-letter network. I mean, doesn't get much better than that.
Is it really matter to you if it's 2:30 CBS or 6 o'clock ESPN?
I personally like the 2:30 CBS Prestige. Nestler, Danielson. I mean,
that's my question. Is there much more prestige?
Chuck brings it up. It's the most put together broadcast of any of the week.
But fans don't watch the broadcast elements. Here's why I like it for our fans. You can still go to your kid's high school game basically anywhere in the state, see your kid play in the band, your daughter cheer, your son play, get up Saturday morning and leave. You don't have to leave at 4:30 to get to the ball game. You know, if you're in Fayetteville or you're in Harris, you can still make that trip if you choose to and leave Saturday morning and get there in plenty of time for the game. So I like the 6 o'clock start in Dallas. You can stay one night. You can drive back to Durant. Make a donation at the casino. You can do whatever you want to do. got a lot more flexibility, I think, with a 6 o'clock start.
Yeah, this is a good thing for Arkansas just to be in a situation where a lot of eyes will be on you. I don't know who the ABC game is that week that you'll be competing against, but I do know that you'll have a massive audience that will be watching your Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Aggies, who have a tough game this week, and they'll take on Miami. So, I mean, they could be reeling at this point with 2 straight losses. I don't know what Mario Cristobal and company have in store for Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies. I just know that it probably ain't going to be easy in College Station this weekend.
Miami this week, the Razorbacks, Mississippi State, Alabama for A&M. That's not an easy stretch to navigate. Arkansas and Bama, 2 out of 3 weeks, going to be physical. I don't really know how physical Will Rogers and Mississippi State's going to be at the line of scrimmage, but we know they're going to sling it around 60 times in a ball game or whatever. They're going to throw it for a bunch and test you. So A&M's got a tough stretch beginning this week.
Zach and Harrison.
I guess last week, if you want to count App State.
Zach and Harrison asked a good question about, aren't we basically on a crash course for CBS October 1st against Alabama? Zach, if I had to put money on it this next Monday, you'll get that announcement that Arkansas-Alabama will be that 2:30 CBS game. They will probably not 6-day window it. I think they trust Sam Pittman in Arkansas to be at that point, to beat Bobby Petrino and company, which they'll have, of course, seen that by Monday. But I think SEC people think that Arkansas will probably be at A&M, and both teams will be at that point undefeated. Arkansas would be within still the top 10, maybe top 7, and Bama will still be at number 1 because they've got cupcakes. They've got Vandy next week, and
they're not going to put that on CBS.
Monroe,
but they're going to put the A&M game we know on CBS, which now is losing. CBS. Who hated the App State upset more than anybody? CBS. That takes a ton of shine off that October 8th matchup. And now maybe the decision to go ahead and claim that game early doesn't look so good. But
you and I were both they're going to get rocked.
Oh yeah,
in Tuscaloosa. And
but
I'm
we
talking
thought
to
Texas was too. So I mean that's the thing we don't. Every week's different, as Chuck likes to say. But that's why they got to play them, because App State can beat a team like A&M. But it looks to me like Bama's going to be. I'm with you. 2:30 Arkansas Bama. The next week they'll play A&M on CBS as well. And you could see Arkansas and Mississippi State. You could see Arkansas and Mississippi State maybe in that other. Didn't they flex that game into the evening time slot with A&M?
Correct. So that's the double. So as you just said, they could put the secondary CBS broadcast early, which Arkansas. Now I don't know how that works. If ESPN gets the second game, CBS at that point gets the third. But I do know CBS has their first pick, which is Alabama. And
I tell you, it's going to be Georgia-Auburn. I was just looking at the schedule. Georgia-Auburn's going in that slot.
Deep South's oldest rivalry. So you might be on ESPN again late, Tommy. Mississippi State and Arkansas will be a good game. Rogers and company have looked good. That's a team you need to watch out for this year. If you haven't got a chance to watch Mississippi State can play. And they've got a big game this week against LSU in Baton Rouge. So we'll see what happens with Rogers and company as they take on Jaden Daniels and Brian Kelly.
Getting ahead of ourselves on October 8th, but Tennessee plays LSU. I mean, there's several good matchups, but Georgia, Auburn, Bama, A&M. Bama and A&M will be the 2 CBS matchups.
Some injury stuff this week. Dominique Johnson is cleared, according to Sam Pittman, but the decision to play against Missouri State will rest up to him. Now, some of you have had an excruciating injury, and it's mental for some when you come back. It was for me. I remember when I tore my ACL playing basketball for the first time, I was scared out of my mind that I was going to re-tear it. So for Dominique, who has to cut and slash as a running back and be very decisive, I know it can be a little scary. So he needs to feel like he's mentally ready to get back on the field. Maybe we'll see him Saturday. Maybe we'll not. We'll have to wait and see on Trey Knox. Sam Pittman touched on him a little bit yesterday. Got to test him out a little bit. Latavius Brini, too. He ended up coming back in the game, so I think he'll be fine. But those are kind of the injury and durability questions that Arkansas have heading into the Bears.
Got to have Brini. I mean, where you're at with that secondary, you cannot lose any more people back there.
The good thing is you get Slusher back this week. That's what Sam Pittman said after the game, so you at least get that back. But Brini had a good game. He was the one that forced the fumble that Hudson Clark recovered, so he's been a big addition from Georgia. That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It's brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
So apparently, Tommy, it's kids take over the kitchen day. Do you let the two youngsters cook at all, or is that just like stay out of Laura's kitchen?
They cook all the time, and usually it's a pizza in the oven, or it's like another family gets up in the middle of the night sometimes and makes ham sandwiches or whatever. So or a full blown pizza. I mean, they kind of got to the age now they can use the oven and the air fryer and a few things. Yeah. So no, it's almost daily. They're in there
cooking something.
You get tired of making it for them because it's like. At 12 years old, 13, they eat every 3 hours.
I remember those days.
I'm going to have to get a third job just to keep up with the grocery bill.
Yeah, you're...
they eat and eat and eat and eat and eat some more.
I think you like my $30 grocery bill a little more than your $150.
$150, I'd settle for that.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself
searching for the best UTV on the market, but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
European slots and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. You need a sportsbook with integrity and longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sportsbook that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BET-US. Join now and mention ESPN Arkansas, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where it's finally time for our end of summer clearance. We've been busy all summer helping more people than ever get the nicer, newer cars they need, and now it's time to flip our inventory. That's right, they all must go. Over 100 Rath road-ready cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to save you money now with discounts up to $4,481 below retail. Plus, our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists are putting every deal together with extra for trades and fast, easy financing through the area's best local credit unions and the nation's best banks and lenders. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a premium pre-owned vehicle, now is the time, and Rath Auto Resources is the place. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But why wait? Get the nicer, newer car you've been wanting today and save up to $4,481 during the end of summer clearance at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will hang out right around 85 degrees. We will remain clear tonight and overnight, low upper 50s to near 60. Wednesday, back to sunny skies, our high upper 80s. And Thursday, blue sky sunshine, our high in the middle to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tally at the 40, midfield, at the UCF 40, the 30, Tally at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Arkansas!
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
The number one thing is our penalties. We've got to figure out how to get those cleaned up. Most of those, if not all, the penalties on defense happened on 3rd down, and they were all 5 for 15, 75 yards, and just can't happen. And we've got to really emphasize it. We've got good coaches. They'll help with that, and we've got to get it fixed because it's going to come back and bite us if we don't.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 3 of a Toyota Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush. We're going to talk with Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, coming up in just a bit. Tommy, I think he made his way over to Springfield. I heard a guy that sounded like Tom Murphy in Bobby Petrino's press conference, so I'm assuming that was him. Yeah. If I had to guess, it sounds like Tom. It probably was Tom. So we'll get a little bit with Tom coming up, but we do want to mention something where we're going to be on Friday.
Yeah, Friday we're going to be doing the Morning Rush. Chuck will be there. Me and Ty will be there. We're going to be at Pig Trail Harley-Davidson in Rogers this Friday. So come by. We'll be telling you more about that. But we're going to be at the Harley-Davidson store on Friday morning in Rogers in front of the Arkansas-Missouri State game as Bobby Petrino comes back. One of the things I love about going to Northwest Arkansas, one of the fun things we'll get to do is we're going to stay Thursday night at the Inn at the Mill. Anytime we're in Northwest Arkansas, and anytime you're traveling to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill at the Johnson exit is the place we love to stay. It's unique. It's different. It's quiet. The rooms are spacious, Ty. Everything about this place I love. They have a European-style breakfast that you can have the next morning. So whether you're going to the AMP or Crystal Bridges, or you're there for work like we are, or going to the game on the weekend, the Inn at the Mill is the place to stay. Here's what you should think about. Basketball season. Already get that schedule out. You already know the SEC schedule. You should start making your reservations right now for the big basketball games you want to go to. There's no 2-night minimum for basketball games, so stay at the Inn at the Mill. You can be to Bud Walton Arena in just a few minutes. It's right there, conveniently located in the heart of Northwest Arkansas at the Johnson exit off of I-49. 479-443-1800. That's 443-1800 or online at innatthemill.com and start making your plans for basketball or a weekend getaway at the Inn at the Mill in Johnson.
All right, let's welcome in our guy, Tom Murphy, to the program. Tom, good morning. That was you at Petrino's press conference yesterday, correct? Or did I just completely miss that?
Hey, guys. It's nice to be your guy, man. I like that. And, yes, I was there. I thought it was beneficial to do some on-hand reporting up there in Springfield, which is a really nice city, by the way. And, I was there.
So go by the Bass Pro Shops, Tom?
Yeah, I didn't have time for that, man. I was steady working, and I got a daughter in Joplin now, so I got to see her on the way home. It was good.
Oh, that was perfect. Good timing, good route then. Well, I heard the questions you asked Bobby Petrino and just kind of the stuff that he looked at this week. He's coming, as Herm Edwards put it, to win the game. How do you think he's going to approach this week heading back to Fayetteville?
Probably a game that he'd like to win as much as any other on the schedule, maybe outside their FCS playoff game. But I think this is real important for him when he's in game day mode, and that's why I kind of wrote my story the way I did, because he didn't really want to talk about like his time at Arkansas. He didn't want to reflect and kind of get all dreamy and like this is what we did to get there. He was more like, yeah, I'm sure I'll have some emotions, but this is we're preparing for the week. And that's the way he's been. He can disconnect himself, I think, from, the warm feelings and all that kind of stuff. I do hope the Razorback crowd gives him a warm greeting, and I hope it doesn't get too off the rails in the way the students and whomever, portray stuff out in the stands. But I was able, he didn't really want to talk about the time at Arkansas and everything. He was very complimentary of Sam Pittman, however. But I went outside with him for a couple more minutes, and he did talk about going to a clinic in Hot Springs and talking to Joe Adams and DeAnthony Curtis and Ryan Mallett down there, guys who've been in the coaching profession, and how he is in communication with some members of those great teams. And, it was very brief, but it was a golden era. When you have back-to-back double-digit win seasons, 10 and 11, just doesn't roll around at Arkansas that often, and he was the author of that, and so I believe he's going to bring his team in here. He's very confident in his quarterback Jason Shelley, and just the communications, the schemes, the protections, and I think they're going to get some passing yardage on the Razorbacks.
Yeah, and I just wonder how successful Petrino can be whipping his team into the frenzy where they want to go out and win it for their coach. They got their coaches back. That's sometimes a hard emotion to exude from your players in a game like this, but that's what it's going to take to really give Missouri State a chance to win this game.
Yeah, and I think Arkansas, much like last week, is going to say, hey, we've got bigger dudes than you up front. We're going to pound on you with our offensive line and see if that defense can hold up. And then on the other side of the ball, we're going to come after Jason Shelley. We're going to make him work. We're going to hit him when the opportunity's there and see if he can stay on point. Obviously Arkansas has a big numerical advantage in scholarship talent, and then just in overall weight and size of the team. And you want to do everything you can to maximize that advantage. But Arkansas fans are very well aware that Petrino can scheme you up. He runs those really neat underneath crossing things that have gone big plays. He's a wheel route guy. He can diagnose where he can attack. And I think when they watched the film of what was available for South Carolina, there were 6 sacks and there was a lot of negative plays for South Carolina, but they also exploited the middle of the field, and you can bet Petrino's going to be angling for that.
Oh, that's exactly where my follow-up was going. That 3rd and 17 play that goes for a score right in the middle of the field between the linebackers and the secondary. You get Arkansas spread out, and they're even when you drop 8 and rush 3, Tom, they were having trouble, keeping Rattler from exposing that weakness in the middle of the field.
Yeah, a couple of times. And if you're not exactly sure what the scheme, and I mean, it looked to me like it was a zone scheme, but maybe there was a bad angle or two on that play. But, when you boil it down, they gave up, 2 or 3, 4, pretty big plays on crossing stuff, things through the middle, maybe 5. And, of course, the post route was available for Cincinnati the week before, and South Carolina didn't connect on the deep throws. But I thought Petrino gave a very astute answer when I said Cincinnati had a lot of available deep throws, didn't connect, and South Carolina too. And he's like, yeah, you can look at it that way, but the other way is how much time does your quarterback have to deliver? How much pressure are they under? And I do believe Arkansas's blitzing and, the Drew Sanders effect and all the pressure they're getting makes it harder for the quarterback to be able to stand in and deliver the ball right on the money. And so that's we're seeing the guys available, but the flip side of that is, how quickly, how briefly are they available, and what's the quarterback's operation time?
Tom, you mentioned Drew Sanders. One of the things Pittman touched on at his press conference is they're moving him to like a jack or like the outside or whatever for blitzing purposes. Christopher Paul moves in alongside Bumper Pool. How much has Paul's growth helped out that defense and given Barry Odom some more options when it comes to utilizing Drew Sanders?
I think a lot. And, Sam Pittman is so funny that when someone asked him about Drew Sanders, he's like, y'all asked me after the game, and I said I thought he had a good game. I didn't know he had a great game, and he did. Those numbers are unreal. 11 tackles, 9 solos, I think, and all the pressures he got, the 2 sacks. That's what they got him to do, and he delivered in that game. And then, Paul had a combo sack, and then he recovered that fumble. I mean, it was hard to even see what happened on that play, but I think Jaden Johnson forced a fumble, and Paul got on it on the second to last play of the game, basically. And if his knee hadn't been down when he scooped, I guess it would have been a touchdown. So I think he's coming on. He's a physical guy. He knows what he's doing. And when you imagine the reps he can give at linebacker because he's so physical, it opens up other possibilities. And, yeah, it's Sam called it the jack, the buck, whatever you want to call it,
yes.
That allows Sanders to do some pass rushing.
And Paul also forced a fumble in that game. So Sanders ripped it out of Rattler's hands, and then Rattler picked it back up, and then Paul hit him and forced another fumble. That was a weird sequence. But, yeah, he can he can deliver a hit. I was reading your piece yesterday, Tom, in Whole Hog Sports. You went over a couple things. I was unaware that KJ Jefferson has moved in the top 7 bet online right now for Heisman odds. And I saw Dennis Dodd had Rocket Sanders as one of his Heisman guys out of the SEC. What do you think about those two really making a name for themselves in the first 2 weeks of the season?
Well, I mean, they're outstanding skill guys who happen to be big physical dudes. And I was unaware of this. They showed the graphic during the game when I watched the replay that KJ and Rocket are combined, the two, the highest combo weight quarterback, tailback in the country, in the FBS. And, I mean, what does that do? That folds right into the Sam Pittman scheme of we want to be big, we want to be physical, but we also want to be fast. And, Rocket Sanders is off to the type of tremendous start that we felt he could get off to based on what we saw in camp, the fact that he's developed as a tailback, sees the holes better and hits them. And Bobby Petrino pointed out yesterday, he broke a lot of tackles. And this is a physical South Carolina team. They had some big dudes, and a bunch of them got hurt. The linebacker Kaba got hurt, and it was just such a hard-hitting game. And, see, that's where Missouri State, for them to survive, they're going to be really good tacklers. And they just don't have the depth and the big dudes that South Carolina and these other SEC teams have. So that's a big-time advantage, Arkansas. And I was talking about speed. We haven't quite seen – I mean, we've seen a little bit of Landers, but I also think Arkansas has got some deep balls in the bag that they're going to get to at some point this season.
Tom, tickets seem to be in high demand for an FCS team coming to Fayetteville, 6 o'clock start. What do you attribute that to?
Y'all, we've talked about this on and off. This is a phenomenal schedule. Arkansas has never had a schedule like this. Every game has meaning. Every game has storylines that are intriguing. I mean, even Liberty coming in here with Hugh Freeze, former SEC coach, great storylines. Out to BYU, big time. The Cincinnati game, and then with Bobby Petrino coming in, yeah. I mean, the fans understand what he did for this program, and Sam Pittman recognized that yesterday. That look, we recruit off that. The achievements from that era, which were back-to-back top tens, the total number of wins and everything, they recruit off that. This is what Arkansas football can be, and I tried to ask Petrino about that a little bit yesterday, and he just didn't really want to go there, but he complimented Sam Pittman. So I think all the elements are ripe for just a fantastic atmosphere.
I do think that the Bobby Petrino factor's one of the things, and the schedule, a lot of people bought season tickets as a result. I think the 6 o'clock start, knowing it's a little cooler this part of September, get to tailgate all day. I think the atmosphere will be the best we've seen from Cincinnati to South Carolina, and I don't think it's just because people want to line up, because I don't think they're going to boo Bobby Petrino. I think he'll have more cheers than boos when they come running out of the South End. I just think fans look forward to the revival of college football that this season's become, and a 6 o'clock start on a Saturday night. I just think it's the perfect storm for a big crowd, and I think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, well, that's a bold prediction, saying better atmosphere, because I thought that Cincinnati game, even though it was 2:30 and it was really hot, it was really loud. They've done some stuff in marketing. Some of the music and some of the interludes they have between plays has gotten to be a little more, just kind of appropriate. Some of the songs they've been used. I've been impressed by the game day atmosphere, and I think you might be right. 6 o'clock, Missouri State coming in, top 10 team facing a number 5 team in the FCS. The ingredients are there for just a phenomenal, loud crowd that they think Arkansas is going to score points, and they should in this game.
Yeah, I think the way they've staged things, between plays, like you said, it has more of an NFL game feel at times during the game. Mm-hmm. And then I think you mentioned the music selections. I think they're understanding their audience a little better. It doesn't just cater to the students. They're playing some stuff that maybe crosses a few generations, and I think it's probably more well received from the 50s and 60s and 70-year-olds that are buying season tickets.
Yeah, absolutely. Very conscientious decisions to try to cater to the different crowd. I mean, there is some very much some student stuff. And did y'all notice the little troll job late in the game when they played Sandstorm? They just have a nice game day deal. Like, they have sharp people making the decisions on how they market the game and what they put on at the game.
That they do. Tom, appreciate the time this morning, man. Excited about this game this Saturday. Excited to see that A&M is a 6 o'clock start on ESPN as well. And we'll talk a little more about the Missouri State Bears coming up on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, let's do it, man. Y'all have a good one. See ya.
All right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, with us here every Tuesday and Thursday on the Morning Rush. If you're building a home or remodeling your home, it's a stressful time, to say the least, and that's whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. You've got subs not showing up. You've got non-payment issues going on. You've got, changes in the contract and they're not paying for them. It's any kind of issue that could lead you to a conflict that could put you in court. You need Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull at the Kevin Hickey Law Partners. They have the experience to represent you, whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Breach of contract, negligence, non-payment, all those issues are right in their wheelhouse. So, hey, you need a pro. When it comes time to really settle things, when there's problems, you need a pro fighting for you from your corner. That's Kevin Hickey or Brad Hull. 479-434-2414 for the River Valley office. They're also in Northwest Arkansas, 479-802-6560. Find those numbers and more about Brad and Kevin online at kevinhickeylaw.com.
Paul Feinbaum had some strong words at the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday about Chad Morris.
A person that represents the state better. I mean, does he represent the state better than, let me think for a second, Chad Morris? And if I could go off the record, personally, I thought he was one of the biggest clowns I've ever met in my life. Off the record.
Now, is that sincere, or is it just blusters? He just talking to the crowd?
Oh, I think it's real. I mean, Chad Morris was a clown of a head coach, but couldn't hire staff around him. We've talked about all the reasons. I mean, but that's red meat. I mean, I mean, you can walk in any gathering of football fans at Arkansas and say something bad about Chad Morris, and people are going to applaud you. So that's easy. That's really easy.
I didn't hear anything about Bobby Petrino. Maybe I just missed it with him talking about that yesterday. When we spoke to Bobby Petrino last, to our knowledge, public appearance that he's had was at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. Now, Tom was talking about stuff he was doing with Joe Adams, D'Anthony Curtis, and some of his other former players, but I know that's like the big public outing the last time that he's been within the state. I know he's played golf here in the state a time or two, but like when he's been out in the open and people knew he was going to be there and stuff, I think that's the last time that's happened. But
probably the last time too. I don't know how many public appearances he's going to make in our state.
Yeah,
so.
Chad Morris still is. Of the 3 head coaches, or of the 4, I'll throw John L. in there. John L. Smith, Chad Morris, Brett Bielema, and Bobby Petrino. I would still say Chad probably tops the list of if someone walked into the stadium as an opponent, he would probably get the most booed, correct?
It's the most recent, and he was the most miserable of the 4. I mean, John L. was thrown into a tough situation. I mean, I know you count him as a head coach, but it was really more of an interim deal, even though it didn't technically have the interim tag. But
explain to me what happened.
You had. I mean, that was supposed to be the future with Chad, and it turned out to be a very dark path,
and it didn't materialize. We had Taj Boyd on this very show, Clemson quarterback, who put up prolific numbers under Morris's tutelage, and he was just giving us. And this was after I think season 1, where they went 2-10, and he was like, "Hey, just give him time. This is going to work." And then another 2-10 season. We know how that went about. And I guess he didn't finish the entirety of the second season. But
you got to be a leader to run these kind of programs. And Bobby Petrino leads a lot out of fear. You got to have people follow you for a variety of reasons. Sometimes they just fear the consequence of not doing what you say. That's kind of been Bobby Petrino's way of running business. You know, Sam Pittman, they like him so much they'll run through a brick wall. They don't want to let him down. Chad Morris was such a poor leader of his staff, of his team. No one wanted to follow. No one took him seriously within those walls. That was his biggest detraction from being successful, is he just wasn't a leader of people. I mean, it was clear to anyone from the outside looking in, and that's one of the reasons he never could hire a credible staff. So that's ultimately was his undoing. You can see the total opposite with Sam, because just all you got to do is look at his staff and what they represent, what they're about, their quality, their credentials, all of these things. That tells you what you need to know about his leadership.
Well, Sam will get into you, too. If he doesn't like something, he'll let you know about it.
People like Barry Odom and Kendall Browse don't sign up and then stay signed up with you if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, there's plenty of people that'll sign up for a $200,000, $300,000 a year job for the money, and they'll put up with your nonsense if you're Chad Morris, because generally those guys don't have better offers. You know, look at Craddock. Has he had a better offer since he left here? No. You know, so Barry Odom and Kendall Browse, you fight every year to keep them here. It all goes back to the fish rots from the head, and you've got a pretty solid fish here with Sam Pittman. Hey, do you have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate? If you're worried about the rising cost of interest, our friends at Farm Credit can put that to ease for you. They have long-term fixed rates for the life of your loan. So, hey, you know interest rates are coming up. I just saw some inflation numbers out again for August, like nearly 9%. That was released this morning. They're going to keep raising interest to tamp down inflation. Long-term fixed rates for the life of your loan are the only answer to keep your payment from getting out of control. Do it now before rates go up again. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. You can always refinance if the rates drop again. Talk to a Farm Credit office today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal housing lender.
When we come back, let's hear what Petrino thinks about coming back to Fayetteville, and then what Sam Pittman would be in his shoes.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
Farewell complications. Later stress. Goodbye business hours. Want a new level of banking convenience? Say hello to the Arvest Go mobile banking app from Arvest Bank. With Arvest Go, you can deposit checks, pay bills, log lost or stolen debit cards. You can even pay people directly with just a tap. Arvest Go lets you bank virtually anytime, anywhere. And it's only from Arvest Bank. Goodbye limits. Hello possibilities. Arvest Bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll have a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until you get something done. Yeah, I know the game is on, but the faucet is still dripping, the toilet keeps running, and the drains won't drain, and on and on. You need to call West Ark Plumbing and let them do the dirty work while you enjoy the game. Call them at 646-5151 and watch the ball game without the West Ark Plumbing, 646-5151.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
KJ gets the call. Same play. Sanders, this time, touchdown, Arkansas. Rocket into the end zone, and the Hogs are on the board first.
Don't miss out on Hog Reaction after every football game.
Yeah, I think we'll see when I get there. Right now, what I'm going to do is just focus on the week and the preparation and what our players need to do. I'm sure there'll be some feelings and emotions when I step in the stadium, but it's really not about me. It's about our football team, and we've got guys on our team that have worked extremely hard.
That's Bobby Petrino when asked, I think by Tom, about coming back to Fayetteville. And I want to hear also what Sam Pittman had to say about going back to a place that you've coached, what Sam Pittman has done before. We'll get into that coming up, but first I want to tell you about our friends at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. About 2 weeks ago, I was up there and got a delicious, not only a delicious 2-third pound cheeseburger with all the fixings, fries, and everything, but also got a chicken sandwich as well. Oh, yeah, of course.
Wait. You ate a double and a chicken sandwich?
No, I had the chicken sandwich for 5 a.m. the next morning.
Oh.
That's what I did. And it was fantastic. Now, the two locations that you know about, the Weddington location in Fayetteville, the Arkansas Avenue location in Russellville, you don't need to forget about the 3 locations in the stadium. You've got 2 in the north end zone and then 1 in the east concourse as well. So even on game days, if you want to go before, on the way up through Russellville, if you want to stop in at Fayetteville right before the game, you can also get it during the game as well at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. I'm going to have it on Friday. I've already set aside plans to go eat it with a buddy of mine because that is a good Friday meal. Really gets you going for the weekend, sets the tone for the weekend, and Keith Wilson and his team have the best burgers, fries, and shakes around. Don't forget about the seasoning that you can buy not only in stores but also at your local Harps as well. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best, and they are at CJ's. So you heard Bobby Petrino's take on coming back to Fayetteville. What about Sam Pittman's take going back to a place where you coached?
Well, I think it's different, Bob, to be honest with you, if you go back and you know the staff and you know the people on the staff. I think it's a little bit different with me going back and knowing Kirby. There's different emotions because, you want to win. This is your friend. He helped you, become a head coach, you know what I mean, and where Coach and I don't know each other. I mean, you'd have to ask him, but I would think there'd be a little bit of a difference just because you're not going back to a university where you actually know guys on staff.
So that's kind of the difference in setup. And Tommy, there's not a lot of holdovers from when Petrino was here. You think about the administration.
Yeah.
And then to now, I don't know. Not to say he won't have friends that he'll see.
John Fagg left to go to, Stephen F. Austin?
That sounds right.
I don't think there's probably very few people, at least top of the administration, that are even here. So you're right. I mean, there's probably no familiar faces, even from the front office, if you will, that would hold over. Maybe some, Pat Berger or someone in the some of these people got retired during COVID, so I may be saying his name out of accuracy too. So I mean, because some of those folks had been around a long time, retired, air quotes, retired during COVID. So there's probably a lot of people that haven't been around for 10 or 12 years in that department right now.
Different setup from when Bobby Petrino was here.
Sam has never lost a non-conference game at Arkansas. Perfect 6-0. No coaches went 7-0 in their non-conference record since Lou Holtz to start their tenure as a head coach. Got to go back all the way to 77-78 when Holtz won his first 7 games against non-conference foes. So Sam's got a chance to tie that record and then maybe better that against BYU, which will be a tough assignment. But I found that interesting from the game notes. You just go through the, from Hatfield forward, and no one else has been able to win 7 non-conference games to begin their career.
Hopefully this is the first one for a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or
exactly
in a
right.
while, not for a while. In a while.
Will be a win Saturday. It would be the first in a while. So I guess 8-0. I don't know if you go back. I don't know what 8-0 means. You'd have to go back, I guess, to Broyles or before that. So
let's hear what Paul
may not have ever happened.
Paul in Midway has to say as he's phoned in here on a Toyota Tuesday. Paul, you've got some comments on Bobby Petrino. You got about a minute, buddy.
Yeah, man. I would love to go up there to the accident scene and stage it all out with the dummies, and the motorcycle wreck, the whole thing. And, the big cards that you see on the offense, I'd like to see one of the accident scene there, too. Show that to Bobby across the football field.
Hold up. Did he just say the accident scene?
Yeah. So go out to crosses.
Yeah, the scene of the accident.
Morbid and graphic here.
I don't think Arkansas uses those poster boards you're talking about, but I think there's going to be some stunts and some people. There's going to be some signs in the crowd that might reference the end of his tenure.
Will Arkansas play into it, though?
The team?
The marketing department.
No.
Will there be? You don't think they'll touch that?
No, they're not going to dip to that.
Because they mess with the sandstorm. Tom referenced that earlier. For those who don't know, and good call, by the way, Paul. They were messing. South Carolina notoriously, they play sandstorm every game and stuff, messing with them a little bit. And they've done that. The horns down, the possum with LSU.
Yeah.
You don't think there's any motorcycle, any brace? There's nothing that makes its way to the video board at any point?
It'd be funny if it did.
I honestly, Tommy, I think they might do something like that. It's not going to be gross. It's not going to be graphic, but there might just be a hint of a reference during the course or after the game.
We'll be live Friday morning with the Morning Rush at Pig Trail Harley-Davidson. So you can join us Friday. Chuck will be along. We'll be there. So come on out to Harley-Davidson Friday morning. And Rogers will be there for the Morning Rush this Friday. Hey, does your business's website currently look like it was built in 1998? Have you forgotten how to edit it because you don't know the login anymore to your website? I mean, listen, your website's your first entrance that a lot of customers have to your business. They'll Google your product or your service. Hopefully your name or your website pops up. They go to your website, and then they make a judgment on the quality of your product or service based on your website. You need a great-looking website. Our friends at Matchstick Studios can create one for $95 a month with no upfront cost and have you up in a matter of days. 479-755-3043 or see examples and features by going online at modularorange.com.
SEC update when we return on the Morning Rush.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make
make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Now get free chips and queso with any Fryhitas order. Dine in or order online for curbside pickup at Fridays.com. New Fridays Fryhitas at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Have a loan with a variable to balloon rate? That might be a problem if it's due to reprice soon. Let Farm Credit fix your problem with a long-term fixed interest rate loan. Farm Credit's terms are the longest in the ag industry, ensuring you'll have peace of mind for years to come. At Farm Credit, you have nothing to lose. When rates begin to drop, you can easily readjust your rate again with no refinancing application, no new appraisals, no new title work. We make it simple. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
So Drew Sanders won Co-Defensive Player of the Week for his performance against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Looked really, really good against them. That kid can play, man. Now, call offensive lineman as well. Ricky Stromberg, also announced by the SEC office yesterday. I know Arkansas fans love to give Birmingham a hard time for saying co. Tommy, once again, Arkansas has some guys of the week. An offensive lineman and an SEC player of the week and defensive-wise.
Well, you hope to see it after games like Alabama. You know, after games down in your schedule like Mississippi State, which is proving to be maybe a difficult game. Maybe probably not in a non-conference game, but a game like BYU, you need some standouts. So what you want to see, not taking anything away from Cincinnati or South Carolina, but man, if you can have some of them performances of the week on either side of the ball following a game of that nature, that probably means you won. So that's what we want to see down the road. And it's good to have some early season recognition. Let's hope it happens in November as well.
One last clip from Paul Feinbaum's appearance at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. He had some fun at Aggie's expense, which we love hearing.
I'm not here to make fun of Jimbo Fisher. His record does that already.
They have a huge game at home against the U. Now, this is not the Michael Irvin Miami Hurricanes 80s team or the even 2000s, early 2000s, Warren Sapp and company Miami Hurricanes. But this is a team under Mario Cristobal that would like to make some noise in College Station. And there's some pressure on Texas A&M this week, Tommy. They're figuring out some offensive stuff.
You think?
They look inept. 14 points against the Mountaineers this past Saturday. I don't know what's going to happen for Texas A&M. I just know if they lose on Saturday, it's going to heat up down there in College Station.
Heat up. It's already hot. So when does if you lose this week and you look miserable doing it, when does the conversation of fire Jimbo Fisher get legitimate? I mean, I'm sure it's already rumbling through their fan base. I don't know if a loss to Miami does it, but when does that conversation begin? If you lost to App State, Miami, and Arkansas all in a row for what they're paying him, I mean, they got a financial problem, and I know they got a gazillion oil wells to draw money from down there, but money doesn't go forever. And I know you got TV money coming down the road and all this, but I mean, his record's identical almost to Kevin Sumlin's after 50 ball games. At what point do you say, all right, we're not getting our money's worth here, Aggies?
Yeah, Ross Bjork is in a difficult situation. Their athletics director, he's kind of hamstrung to this point. I don't know. I wish I was down there. I should have listened to Texags Radio this week, which is their predominant media source for all things Aggies, and just get a feel. I might do that before the Arkansas and Texas A&M game, just to kind of get a feel on how their fans are feeling. But as Tommy said, this week's crucial, especially offensively, for Texas A&M. It's also a crucial stretch for the Dallas Cowboys, who now find themselves on the outside looking into the playoffs with the loss of Dak Prescott. Here is Stephen Jones on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on the former Mississippi State quarterback.
Absolutely. We feel very confident he'll be back. We just don't know that time frame right now.
Is there any concern with what happened in 2020, the back half of maybe last year and now this, that Dak is injury prone?
No, I think Dak is built to last. I think, obviously those hand injuries with quarterbacks in pockets are tough ones. I don't think he's injury prone and feel like he'll rebound from this. He's a great leader. He'll be out there leading the charge. I know he won't miss anything, and I think great things are ahead of Dak.
What do you do if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan right now? Do you just wait on Sean Payton to get there to the star? Do you just live in misery for the next year? Because you aren't going to the playoffs. You're just not. Cooper Rush.
Is that McCarthy's fault, though?
See, that's the thing. It's not McCarthy's fault. He lost his starting quarterback. Every team in the NFL, if they lost their starting quarterback, outside of maybe like 3 or 4 teams, would miss the playoffs.
I mean, if Mahomes went down this week.
Oh, the Chiefs would be screwed.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who the backup? I think it's
Exactly.
it's Chase Daniel. I think former Missouri quarterback. Someone might have to help me with that.
Exactly.
But
I mean,
they'd be done.
Your point's accurate. I mean, all the money's invested in one guy, and he goes down. And we saw it 15 years ago or whatever with New England with the Patriots when Tom Brady had the knee problem. Now they had a pretty serviceable backup, but they had one year they were just miserably bad.
Matt Castle was the backup that year, which is weird. And that was
Chad Henne is their backup.
Chad Henne. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
Another tie for tie with no E.
My backup Kansas City Chiefs quarterback knowledge is not sufficient enough, I guess. But yeah, that's the Chad Henne, the former Michigan. I do know he's from Michigan quarterback, was in there suiting up with that offense, and as good as Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy are at scheming people up, that offense would look nothing like it does now with Patrick Mahomes. So tough for Dallas, but you're bad. Another season without the playoffs and even inching towards the playoffs at this point.
Bill and Van Buren says it all starts with Jerry with the Cowboys. Well, yes, but is it Jerry's fault Dak got hurt too? I mean, he's just part of the game. So I don't think the Cowboys are in much different boat than like you said, probably 28 or 29 out of 32 teams would find themselves if their starting quarterback had to have half-season-ending surgery. I think that's kind of how you describe it right now with Dak.
Well, the phrase is misery loves company, and I feel like that the Packers, even though they've been in the NFC Championship several times, this could be a year they don't make the playoffs. They just lost game one of the Vikings. That offense looked horrible. That's not Rodgers' fault. He didn't have anyone to throw the ball to. In addition to that, Justin Fields looked good for the Bears. The Lions looked better. They looked serviceable, at least competing, not defensively, but offensively. Goff and company at least competed against the Eagles. So I think the Packers and the Stinks are probably not going to make the playoffs this year. So all you Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm going to be right there with you watching my team not make the playoffs probably. This is the last thing here in your SEC update. This is from Dennis Dodd, college football writer for CBS Sports. His top 5 after week 2 Heisman hype has number 1, quarterback Caleb Williams for USC and Lincoln Riley. Number 2, Stetson Bennett for Georgia. 3, Jalen Daniels for Kansas. 4, Bryce Young for Bama. 5's not KJ Jefferson. It's Rocket Sanders, which I did not see Rocket on a single list preseason before the year, but he's gone over 200 yards to this point. KJ is also climbing up on Heisman list as well. Just thought that was kind of curious. I hadn't seen anyone else with that take to this point, but
well,
I mean,
KJ's got his chance, and I guess Rocket as well. You got to be 6-0 and had a great game against Bama to really be truly considered, right? You got to go beat the man to be the man. That's what your chance is coming up. You got to win this week. You got to beat A&M. You got to have solid numbers. But if you want to have Arkansas seriously considered with one of those two guys as a Heisman contender, it's the Bama game where it all comes together.
It hinges upon it.
So you got to have a great performance there in a Razorback win. And that's where you'll be taken serious.
And that's the key. I think even if Bryce Young was to lose that game with his previous Heisman Trophy with the team he plays for, he could lose and still go back-to-back. I doubt he does it. It's so hard to go back-to-back as a Heisman Trophy winner. That's why Archie Griffin is the only one to do it for Ohio State. And when was that? Was that the 70s?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'd have to look there, but yeah, you're in the right era.
That 70 in that era or whatever. It's so difficult. And there's been guys that you thought, man, they got a great chance. Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, and others, but it just hadn't happened. Bryce Young had a Heisman-like moment when he led Alabama against Texas this past Saturday. Had a great missed tackle that juke where he just kind of ducked under the fender. That guy can play. You've got to find a way. You're KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders, if there's any realistic chance they could actually be in the realm of conversation when it gets closer to December, they're going to need some help from that Arkansas defense to stop Bryce Young in 3 weeks.
Archie Griffin won the Heisman Trophy in 74-5. I thought I was right about that. Year I was born in 75 was his last one. So he won it before I was born. So more than 46 years ago.
It's been a while. That's going to do it for your SEC update. It is brought to you by Ashley Air.
Hey, when you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. That's Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Some restrictions apply. Clogged drains, leaky faucets, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
We didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday, and I want to do it a little bit now. One of the more notable jobs in college football is open. Scott Frost being let go by his alma mater, Nebraska, now finds I can't call it a destination school, but at least it's one of the notable schools that you could not tell the story of college football without. Nebraska. Pete Thamel, who is now working for ESPN, had these lists of candidates. Matt Campbell, Mark Stoops, Dave Aranda, Bill O'Brien, Lance Leopold, Jim Leonard, PJ Fleck, Chris Kleiman. That's who Chuck suggested over at Kansas State. Sam Pittman is also on that list as well. Sam's not going anywhere. Hugh Freeze, to me, is not a bad idea for Nebraska.
Bad idea.
Why do you say that?
Nebraska's got to get back to their roots, just like Arkansas had to get back to its roots. What are Nebraska's roots? What is Nebraska known
Ground
for?
and pound.
Ground and pound. Kick someone's you-know-what on the offensive line. Hugh Freeze's spread. And I know that's modern-day football. I think Nebraska's got to be more like Arkansas. That's why Sam Pittman is a legitimate name on that list, but I'm with you. Sam's not going there. You need a coach that, embraces and insists and demands toughness up front. You're known for your offensive lines. It'll take time to develop some of that, but Nebraska's got to get back to its identity, I believe, and that's running the football, beating people at the line of scrimmage.
So is Bielema a good fit?
Bielema's not a horrible fit. That's what he believes in.
Iowa's not too far. Was it Hayden Fry was his mentor? Yeah. Iowa's not too far from that.
I think recruit those kind of kids and those, as he called them here, those Scandinavian-type bodies that he recruited at Wisconsin come from that same area of the country. So, he understands the Big Ten. He knows how to recruit the Big Ten footprint. He wouldn't be the worst fit.
What's unique about Arkansas and the way they run the football, it's not power eye, it's not triple option. They do it from the spread. And what the issue is with Texas A&M and their offense is Jimbo Fisher is still trying to run an offense that was moldy 10 years ago. He has not adapted. He has not updated. And it's more of a pro style. You can run that. We're seeing it in front of our own eyes every single Saturday with your team, Arkansas. You can dominate the line of scrimmage and run the football from the spread, from different alignments like Bryles has done. Jimbo's still running the same stuff, and it hasn't worked. And it will continue to fail if he stays in that system.
Hey, a new episode of Give Me the Hogs, Chuck, coming out tomorrow morning at 6. If you hadn't heard the last two, featuring Madre Hill or Ken Hamlin, catch up on that at hitthatline.com. Give Me the Hogs, Chuck, a new episode tomorrow morning. Brought to you by the Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company at 6 a.m.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We